Hey, Jonna, sounds like you're the first one. We start at 8 o'clock, so you're 25, we're 25 minutes early. But it's okay, I'll talk to you. Is this your first time of joining us? Jonna,
No po.
nasaan ka?
Ma'am, dito po ako sa Quirino Province, ma'am. Philippines po.
Okay.
Quirino Province, ma'am.
What is that? Is that by Manila? Are you
Po?
Tagalog? Are you Tagalog?
Yes, ma'am. Filipino
Okay.
po ako, Tagalog.
Yeah, I'm from Cebu. I don't even want to try speaking in Tagalog because I'm so awkward. So I think English will be better for me. Tell me about yourself.
Yes, ma'am. So, I am Jonah Malanao, 38 years old, married and blessed with 2 children, ma'am.
2 kids. Okay. How old are your kids?
Ma'am?
How old are your kids?
I have a 15-year-old boy, a grade 9 student, and a grade 2 pupil, 8 years old, ma'am.
Okay, you spread them out like I did. I have a 24 and a 32-year-old.
Yes, you have 2 kids also, ma'am.
Yeah. So how long have you been teaching?
I've been teaching for 17 years now in the Department of Education.
Okay.
I got my permanent item in the elementary since 2011, and I have also experienced teaching secondary learners. 4 years po ako doon, ma'am.
Okay.
Teaching my major subject, physical education, arts, health, and music.
Okay. Who told you about me? Who told you about us? Yeah, who told you about us?
I was a member of this is IAG? The Facebook?
Oh, okay. It's ITSA?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
In a group.
In
the group.
Yes, yeah. Well, have you sent me your stuff? Have you sent me your resume and letters of recommendation and application letter? Have you sent it?
Yes, ma'am. I have done my one-way video interview in IAG.
Okay. How did it go?
And I have not yet received any update, ma'am.
Okay.
But I already passed my documents before.
Okay. Well, you have not sent it to me though. Send it to me at McCullough. Let me put it in chat. It's McCulloughMerlina@gmail.com.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah, if you send it to me, I will add you to my list, and I'm sending that list to or have sent it to administrators here in Arkansas and surrounding areas. Okay?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for that, ma'am. Where are you now, ma'am?
Huh?
Where are you now, ma'am?
I'm in Arkansas. I guess let me introduce myself. I'm actually retired now from education, but still consulting a job for bringing Filipino teachers here in Arkansas and other states. But when I was teaching, I've taught all the grades except 10th and 12th grade, but I'm mostly literacy. So English, reading, yeah. But I also was doing math. I was math teacher for, I guess, 10 years, K6. So, so I've taught all the grades in math on elementary, but not high school. I've also taught science high school. And then I became an administrator. So I was assistant principal and curriculum director at school. So I was over all the 6 schools at that time. And I was a literacy specialist at another school. And I had 5 schools, or no, 6 schools at that time at that place also. And then later I decided to work for the actual Department of Education office, the main office, which is in our capital in Little Rock. And that's when I retired in 2016. But that's after about 25 years of education. So I've been in education for more than 30 years now. But
Wow.
yeah, I love teaching, and I love helping teachers come. And when I found out that there was a shortage of teachers in the US, especially Arkansas, then I decided to talk to my cousin, who is a supervisor there in the Dep Ed in Cebu, in the main office. And so he told me, he sent me some teachers' names. So that started it. And now my list has more than 200 in my list right now that
Wow.
I'm sharing. And I brought in about 30, close to 40 teachers last year. So they are mostly in Arkansas, but the rest are in other states. So it's been good. I have not been, I mean, I've been sharing www.schoolspring.com. That's another one I'm gonna share here, because that's where you would look for jobs. You know,
Yes, ma'am.
schoolspring.com. So if you don't have that, make sure that you write it down or you mark it, or copy and paste it to yourself, because those are important, website and email address. Okay, so the first thing that they will ask you when being interviewed, because I've sat in so many interviews before being an administrator, and the first thing they would say is, tell me about yourself. So when you do that, it's about 2 to 3 minutes speech about yourself. I call that an elevator speech about yourself. So you need to start with your name, you know, your job, what degrees you finished, and then if you have any special interest, like coaching chess, like I was a chess coach, coaching chess, coaching volleyball, badminton, whatever it is that you're interested in. Those are some extracurricular things that you could mention. And then maybe finish it at the end of saying why you want to come to the US, or why did you go to education. Like I've always been passionate about teaching. Even when I was little, I would always like get our neighborhood kids and I would teach them, pretend like I was a teacher. So I know I've always been wanting to be a teacher, although when I went to college, I went to pursue law, because that was what my, the NCEE was 99. So it was like, oh, okay, you can do law or medicine. So since I had scholarship, so I went to law. But then when I moved to the US in 87, so I've been here 36 years, then I actually changed my major from law to education, which I'm glad, because I went and got my master's, my specialist, and then my doctorate degree here in the US. And I got it in 2011. And so I have been helping teachers, since then. So because I taught teachers. I am a professor at Arkansas State University. When I say yes, is an adjunct position. And so I teach teachers and principals when I do, because I have graduate classes that I'm teaching. So that's where it is. But I am actually from Cebu. So I speak Cebuano. Yeah. My mom's here, my 3 sisters here, and my other sister in Australia. But like I'm 4 hours away from these teachers that I brought. So every week I would travel 4 hours one way, so 8 hours total, to go see them. And the school is paying me. So the teachers are not paying me. The school is paying me to come and kind of coach them. So yeah, so that's my story. So anyway, let's practice while waiting for the others. Let's practice on your 2-minute speech. I want to put you in a spot, but I want to see how quick you are at doing it. Okay, ready, start.
Yes, best morning everyone. Best morning, ma'am. And I am Joy Malanao, 38 years old from the Philippines, married and blessed with 2 children. I am a graduate of Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in Physical Education, Health and Music at St. Mary's University in 2005. And I've also graduated my master's degree, Master of Arts in Education, major in Educational Management at Northeastern College in Santiago City. I have been teaching for 17 consecutive years now in the Department of Education, Philippines. I have a 4-year experience teaching secondary learners with my major subjects, physical education, arts, health, and music. And right now, I am handling the grades 5 and 6 learners under inclusive education, teaching, of course, my major subjects, the MAPE, but I have also taught the grade 3 and grade 4 learners with general education subjects, the English, mathematics, science, and other Filipino subjects. Um, I am a positive person who has enthusiastic perspective in life. I have always this feeling of great excitement seeing my learners and grow and develop as better individuals or as better versions of themselves. I am also a hardworking teacher. I always work hard for the best and always seek to grow professionally, academically, and technologically advanced. I am also a resourceful teacher because I always differentiate my instruction to cater to the needs and interests of my learners and of course to address to their varied learning styles. So that's all, Mom.
Very good. I think you were very fluent. You did a very good job introducing yourselves. You may not want to say you work for the Department of Education, because here in the US, when you say you work for the Department of Education, you work like in the main office in the Department of Education. It's, you just say, I work at a public school. And that would be all.
Okay.
Yeah, you just work at a public
Yes,
school in the
ma'am.
Philippines, and yeah, in near Manila. They don't know anything about Manila. Is very very familiar with them, but they would not know about other islands. So you can just say, like, for example, I say I am from Cebu, and that's about 400 miles from Manila. That's 500 miles south of Manila. So that's usually what I say, because they always want to know where you are, you know, in terms of the distance from Manila, because that's all they know. Yeah. Well, I want to welcome Jenny. Yeah, thank you so much. Very good introduction. So I think I'd feel great about you introducing yourself. Just remember to add why you want to come to the US at the end. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I
Yeah.
forgot to tell you also my special interest.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You tell me that. Go ahead.
Okay, so aside from teaching, of course, I am a persistent or the consistent champion coach in dancing, folk
Oh,
dancing, robotics, and the modern dance. I am also a champion coach in the sports badminton in the district and even in the division level.
very good.
So I want to teach in the US because we all know that United States provides quality education and best practices. So I want to challenge myself to teach in this country because this will give me an avenue to for personal growth and professional development. That's
Very
all,
good.
ma'am.
Yep. Like that. Instead of saying in this country, you might want to say in your country, because you're going to be talking to them. Just say in your
Oh,
country. Yeah. That's
yes,
good.
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Great job. We are actually early. You know, you came in 25 minutes early, and now it's about I don't know, 12 minutes early still. But Giselle's always really good about coming in early. That's good. Giselle, thank you. Hi, I
Hello,
appreciate your
Doc.
coming in, okay? So Giselle, how are you doing, girl?
I'm okay, Doc. Just I know I'm preparing my papers. Maybe next week I'm going to resend my resume because I have trainings this month
Okay.
and other um works. We also had our city meet this week last 2 weeks, and I am a badminton coach, but
Oh,
unfortunately we did not win today, but we
yeah.
won last week.
Okay. Well, congratulations.
So thank you, Doc. But today, unfortunately, we did not win. So maybe next
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
But
Well,
we
I'm
had
proud
a
of your
great
kids. That's
experience.
great.
Yeah, thank
You
you,
and your
Doc.
kids. How many members do you have in your badminton team?
For this year, Doc, I have six, two for
Okay.
the boys and four for the girls.
Oh, okay. Is that pretty normal, that number, usually?
No, it's eight, Doc. It's eight because we
Oh,
have two singles and one doubles.
okay.
So, but today I haven't seen much player from the boys, so I just brought a complete girls and two from the boys.
Oh, okay. I didn't know how that works. I guess I've always just seen the badminton thing going on in the Philippines, but not here in the US. So that might be
Uh,
something that Filipino teachers could start, because volleyball just now got into very popular here. Volleyball has competition here now. Chess has always been good too. Every school usually has a chess team. Like I was a chess coach for years. And when I left the school where I was coaching, they were really like, oh, don't, I wish you would not leave because my kids, were wanting to be in the chess club. I had like 70 plus members in my K-12 chess team. And I had parents help me, and we were in the cafeteria every Tuesday and Thursday afternoon and practiced. And we went to competition, and I had community help, getting money for gas to send them to, the bus to go on a competition. And we designed our own T-shirt and for food and all this. And they even bought our tournament size, chess pieces. So they even bought that, like a whole suitcase of them. So yeah, I enjoyed that. I really miss it. But they cannot do one without a sponsored, a teacher that would sponsor it. And nobody's brave enough to sponsor it or want to give their own time, because you're not, in most places you don't really get paid extra. Although I've heard of a neighboring school that does. Usually they call it a stipend. They would pay the teachers extra money for coaching something like badminton and volleyball, for example. You could be paid like an extra $1,000 or $2,000, an extra 100,000 pesos a year to be a coach, and then they will give you a budget for your trips. So it depends on the school. Some schools, if they have extra money, or if sports is a priority for them, then they would actually put a budget for the different sports. But some schools are just merely, focused on academics, so they're not gonna want to put extra money on sports. But they always do on football. Football and basketball are always two popular sports here in most schools, especially really big schools. But anyway, welcome to the rest of you. Giselle, it's always nice to talk to you, girl. You see our pictures
you,
in
Doc.
Texas with your relatives.
Yes, Doc. Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah, there were
Nice.
10 of us, including Ixora. So there were 9 adults and 1 child, and we rented a van and we went to Texas. And it was like a 10-hour drive. Thankfully,
so
your
far.
bunch, Alvin and Junar, took turns driving. So I didn't have to drive until I got ready to come home. And they were, we dropped them home at their place. Welcome everyone that just came in. Thank you for coming in early. You're not late. I just started a little early because if there's somebody that was early, I was gonna talk to them, and I did. So anyway, I am so glad to see you all. I've seen a lot of new names again, which is good. It seems like our group is growing. We have more than 800 people now in our Facebook group. So I'm proud of that. And a bunch of them are actually been administrators. So you watch what you put in there, because the administrators are watching it. Okay. Hi, Miss Layla is here. Layla, I wanna say hi to you, girl. Layla is one of those that were attending Zoom a lot, last year, and now she's in America. She just arrived in Nashville. She worked for Vanderbilt, under Vanderbilt University. Layla, tell me more about your job and introduce yourself, please.
Hi, good evening there in the Philippines, and good morning here in Nashville, Tennessee. I am Layla Saban from Iloilo, and I work at Susan Gray School, Peabody College, Vanderbilt University in Nashville, Tennessee.
She has her
As a
doctorate
special
degree.
education teacher.
Yeah. And you're H-1B, right? You're H-1B?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. I am an H-1B teacher here.
Very good. So which means that she has a path to green card. And of all the members here, we had so Layla and 4 others in Helena that I just finished helping, and are been approved on H-1B, which is really hard to find schools that would approve you for H-1B. So if you're an H-1B, if you are a teacher under H-1B visa, you may want to stick with that school because they are your sponsors. They're not going to have a visa like the sponsors like you do with a J1. The school is actually your sponsor. So you might want to stick with that school because it's going to be hard to find another school that would that would try to support somebody through H-1B. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of it's a lot of paperwork. And since you're already here, you know, unless it's just a really miserable place to work, then you let me know and I'll try to help you find another place. So Leila, how is it so far? Tell me about your impression. When did you arrive here?
So I arrived here, Doc Merlina. First and foremost, I would like to thank you, Doc Merlina, for the advices and for the help that you extended to me. So I am now here. Thank you very much, Doc.
You're welcome.
I arrived here on February 26, 2023, and now I am working remotely because I still don't have a car. So the director of Susan Gray School, Mrs. Moses, she picks me up every time that she have a time, and I came to visit Vanderbilt University for the first time. And
Isn't that beautiful?
Yes, ma'am. It's a huge school. Yes.
It's one of the most expensive schools here in the US. Very expensive.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
The building was so tall, and the people there are so very kind, and they extended help. They extended help for me here because, ma'am, I'm having a little hard time on my allowance because as far as I know, the rental here of apartment is quite pricey.
Nashville is, yeah.
Yes, ma'am, because we are living in a city. So they extended help. They give me food, rice, and some fish. Yes.
What is your rent? What is your rent in there? What's your monthly rent?
So my monthly rent is $1,200.
Whoa, by yourself? You don't have a roommate?
I have a roommate. This is a house actually, and my landlady is a Vietnamese. She's an Asian, so that's why she accepted me. So I have no choice, ma'am, but to accept the offer because it is very hard in Nashville to find apartment.
Yes, it's very hard. That's right. That is very expensive.
Yes, ma'am.
So you share with another person, so it's $600 a month?
No, ma'am. It's 1,200.
Oh my God, that's a lot for you.
Yeah,
that is a lot. Here in Helena, they have been having, like, I think 350 maybe, or maybe 500 but that's a really big house. But usually 350 a month is all that their share is. Like, you know, with a big house, that their share is 350. So 1,200 is a lot for you.
Yes, ma'am. It's a big struggle, but I'm much excited to work, so it's okay.
Maybe they'll give you a raise in order to cover your living expenses.
I am hoping so, ma'am.
Yeah, I think.
By the way, ma'am, I am an outreach teacher, so I have no classroom setting. So I will be using the family guided routine-based instruction, or the FGRBI. So I will be working with parents and with children, or with family rather, with children who age 0 to 3 years old.
Oh, okay. So it's mostly like a preschool thing, which is really interesting because you taught college, didn't you?
No, ma'am, elementary.
Oh, you taught elementary. So I guess that's the early childhood would not be too bad. I thought you were teaching because of your doctorate degree. I thought you were teaching college.
No.
Okay. So that's good. That's good that you're here in America. I just wish that your rent is not as high. You won't be able to save very much, but you'll still be able to save some, but not as much as you want to. Do you have any? Do you have any kids or anything in the US, in the Philippines, right?
Yes, ma'am. I have 3 kids, 3 grown-up kids already. They are in college already.
Okay. And your husband?
I'm a single mom.
Okay. I guess I forgot that. I'm sorry, Leila. So I am so proud of you, being a single mom and raised the 3 kids and now in being in America. So I think when you become a green card holder, you can actually get your kids as long as they're not married. Are they under 21?
My eldest is already 24, and my second is 20. So as of now, I am processing his H4 visa.
You need to do that like before they turn 21, because after 21, they're considered adults. They have to have their own application instead of under you. So I would always recommend, if you are closer to 20, if the kids are closer to 21, get them here first.
Yes, ma'am.
Because you want them approved already, so that when you are, you already will be applying for your green card, and they're already here. You don't have to worry
Yes.
about the wait. My mom had been here in America for 32 years, and 12 years ago, 11 years ago, she had applied for my brother. One of my brothers, there's two of them in the Philippines still, to come with the whole family. And that's been 11 years and still not here, because he's married and has kids. And, so he's over 21 already, plus he's married. So that's like your priority is getting so far. Instead of a first priority, it's like third priority or something. So the weight of that is more than 10 years. So that's why, yeah. And a brother and sister, forget it, like 30 some years. So forget about bringing a brother or sister here. The best way is for like you, and if you have a spouse, then you bring them here fast. Or your parents, if you have older parents. My mom was here within a month. I was gonna have a baby, and 32 years ago, and we sponsored my mom in September. By October, she was here. And one of our members here, Johnson, she just arrived here this week, and she brought her mom as a tourist. Her mom got approved as a tourist. She brought her two kids, so she wanted somebody to watch her two kids, and they just arrived, all four of them this week. Like, we were gone to Texas, and they arrived. So I talked to her on the phone. So I'm excited for her. Well, Layla, thanks again for coming in. And
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
What's the biggest surprise for you when you came to the US? What's your biggest surprise?
Oh, my biggest surprise, ma'am, is car here in the US is necessity. So when you're there in the Philippines, please try to have a driving lesson, so that it will not be difficult for you here driving around and getting your license.
Yeah, do you remember that? You remember hearing this from me whenever you were in Zoom?
Yes, ma'am.
It
Yes,
did not
ma'am.
mean
Yes,
anything
ma'am.
back then, because we just cannot imagine a place where you don't have any jeepneys or tricycles or
Yes, ma'am.
taxis, right? But taxi is so expensive here. You can
Yeah,
hardly
ma'am.
afford
I
it.
have an experience for that. Imagine in one day I spent $300 for my taxi fare, because I don't know where to go. So I befriended the taxi driver, Mickey. Yes, and then she brought me to the office of the SSN, to the fingerprinting. I just say, "Hey, Mickey, don't worry, I will just pay you. Just take me home."
Oh my God, that's a lot of money, girl. That
Yes,
is a lot of
ma'am.
money. Yeah. But in those, you didn't have to have her wait though. You could have Ubered, Uber or Lyft.
Ma'am, over the are not accepting cash. They want card. So it is only my first day here in the US.
Yeah,
So
shit.
no
Right.
choice. It's an adventure, actually.
Right. That good thing that you brought money then. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And they so now you have your social security number already?
Yes, ma'am,
So
already.
you went and
I
opened
have
you an
also-
account, and did you apply for a credit card so you do Uber?
Not yet.
Okay. Most of them
And-
would. Yeah.
And here in Nashville, ma'am, they are so very strict, especially on the SSN and the fingerprinting. You cannot start working if you don't have the fingerprinting. So the fingerprinting here actually takes
Priority.
about 2 to 3 weeks, I think. Yeah.
So you had to wait that long. What did you do while you were waiting?
So I'm just here inside the apartment.
Oh my gosh, I wish I knew that. I could have picked you up.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry
Well,
about
you're
that.
actually 7 hours away from me.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So Memphis is about halfway for us.
Mhm.
So when you go to Memphis, Tennessee, where Elvis was born, then we go 3 more hours and more hours and a half to see you. Yeah, but my kids, and I told Layla this, that our kids live in Nashville and our 2 grandkids. So when they come here, maybe one of these days you could ride with them if you're
Yes.
off, maybe in the summer.
ma'am.
And that way you could spend time with us here.
Yes,
That would
ma'am.
be cool, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I'm so excited
Yeah.
to see
Well,
you.
welcome, Layla, and thank you so much for sharing with us and in your experience. And you look happier. The other day when I was talking to you on the phone FaceTime, you look like so stressed. Why are you happier today? What were
I
you sad
already
the other day?
see you and I
Oh,
already
thank
joined
you.
the Zoom. I missed you. I missed you, fellow teachers.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
sana all kayo na din sa
yeah, you
susunod.
can. Everybody can do it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody can do it. Yeah.
Yes,
So what do
ma'am.
you think? Is there a special tip that you could give them? Why do you think that you became successful in coming in here?
For the information of my fellow teacher there in the Philippines, I applied at about 297 emails and 98 interviews. And together with Ma'am Merlina, I joined Ma'am Merlina's group on January, and I have a lot of learnings and knowledge in this group. And it's only the Vanderbilt University that accepted me, and I think they believe in me. I want to say that don't lose hope. Just keep on applying and pray, and practice also the interview because in the at saka wag kabahan kasi pag kinakabahan sa interview doon tayo mawawala sa isip. So fighting lang, kaya natin to. Sa susunod kayo na.
Yeah. Hi, Leila, I didn't know you have that many interviews. 98 interviews.
298.
298.
No, ma'am. 98 interviews. Yes, ma'am.
How did you, did you go do it through www.schoolspring.com?
Yeah, LinkedIn, Indeed, Job Street, I think, Lenza, and School Spring.
Do you mind typing all those website on the chat for us so that they will get it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
If you don't mind the chat, everybody, you might want to open your chat and see, I already put in my email address for those that are new. You might want to send me your cover letter, resume, and 3 letters of recommendation. And Leila has really good paperwork, and I see why people interviewed her. And so your application letter, your cover letter, saying about something about yourself, that's really important. Do not repeat things that are already in your resume. Tell them more about yourself, right? So what
Yes,
are the
ma'am.
things that you put in your cover letter, Leila? Do you remember?
Yes, ma'am. The most important thing that you're going to put in your cover letter is that the subjects that you are teaching, your educational attainment, the cell phone number. I think that's the only thing that I remember. Sorry.
And what kind of teacher you are? What do you believe? You're teaching philosophy. That's one of the questions that they might ask you too. What's your teaching philosophy? What do you believe about teaching? Like some
Sorry
people
po,
believe-
nakalimutan.
You forgot, yes. Yeah, about differentiation and what you believe in differentiation. You believe that all kids can learn, but maybe in different rates. That the importance of hands-on learning, all those different views of teaching. So
Yes.
yeah, what do you believe? Put it there. I think that's really important to say.
Yeah. It's all about also on the classroom management that you
Yes.
have with the kids, especially on my part because I am a special education teacher. So maybe I will give example. I will send you examples of my resume so you can browse on it and
Put a link on it on the chat if you want. Yeah, that would be
you
awesome.
will have the idea po.
Yeah. I think that might be that. Thank you for sharing that. That was very nice.
Yes.
I remembered yours to be a good one, a good example. So if you don't mind to put a link to your drive or whatever to the chat, that might help. I just made Mike a host. So yeah, there's some notes for you here, Leila. Congrats, Ma'am Leila from Giselle. Jana said, "Wow, ang galing naman. Thank you for words of encouragement." And congrats, God bless you. Yeah, so thank you for those comments on chat. I think that's really encouraging for Leila because I know that the first month of here being in America is pretty stressful, especially in her situation where she doesn't have the Filipino community like we do here in Helena. We have like 30 plus people around, so it's a lot of support that she's not getting. So that's why I'm so glad that she's joining us. So you feel like you have this community of support here in our group, right? And
Yes, ma'am.
I'm
Alam
always
niyo, ma'am,
here.
umiiyak ako pag
I
pag
bet.
mag-isa lang ako dito. Yes
You
po,
call me. I want you to call me, okay? You
Yes
have my
po,
number.
yes po.
Yeah, call me
Thank
or
you
text
po.
me. Yeah. Because that's rough. I remembered when I came to America in 87, and I'm married, my husband, so I have somebody with me, but I was so missing home so bad, missing my mom, and I was like crying and really wanted to go home, you know. But in your case, you might not want to go home because, you know, you have to remember, okay, the money here is 10 times, 8 to 10 times more than it is in the Philippines. So it is worth it for the future of whatever it is, goals that you have. You know, for you, you might be thinking about your kids and grandkids someday, you know, or building a home or something. For my case, of course, I can't leave my husband, you know, so within 6 months of being here, I went home and visited my mom because, of course, you know, being married to an American citizen, I was already a green card holder by then. So that's the thing. But Layla, I do feel your pain because that is really hard. I saw a lot of the new teachers here crying the first 2 weeks here of teaching. And so your kids are good though. How they behave themselves? You don't have any issues with classroom management or anything? Or are they okay?
Ma'am, again, ma'am, I am not in a classroom setting. So I am dealing with a family,
Okay.
with children with special needs.
Right. But the parents are good. Like they act positively towards you.
Yes, po. Yes, po.
Okay. Well, good. I'm so glad to hear that. That's still stressful though. Yeah. I cannot believe 1,200 a month for rent. That is what? 60,000 pesos a month for rent. And
Yes,
this is just like part of a house. How many bedroom house is this?
3 po.
3-bedroom lang. Okay. That's
Mhm.
small. And
Mhm.
still you're paying that much. Wow. This woman who owns it is making good money.
So 1, 2 po, that 1,200 or that $1,200 is only good for the one room and share bathroom.
Wow. She is charging a lot. But anyway, for an fellow Asian, she should have given you a little break. But of course, that's her property. You can't really tell her how to charge. But yeah, it's sometimes in a situation like that, that's the only option you have, you know. As long as you feel safe, though, you feel safe. You don't feel like, you know, it's a bad neighborhood or anything. It's a good neighborhood.
Yes, ma'am, it's a good neighborhood. It is peaceful here. And my landlady is
Very
quite
nice.
kind. Yeah.
You can
She gave
cook
me
there.
food.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she always treats me to Walmart.
Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
good. Yeah. So do you have all the supplies that you need now? Like all the rice, you know, rice
Yes, I
cooker and all
still
that?
have at least for another week, but I know I can survive with this.
Poor baby. Poor thing. You need to make sure you tell your bosses that way they are aware. So
Yes.
they may, you know, they may be, Vanderbilt has money. Vanderbilt has a lot of money. So maybe they could afford to give you a raise. You know, unlike the public school here where the labor, I mean, the wage is really fixed. You know, some of the schools like that, like what you're doing, could be flexible because of being part of a university. So that could be flexible. So you need to make sure that your problems, you need to let them be aware of it so that they know they are part of the solution. They'll try to help you.
Yes,
You don't want to starve there. That's why you go to discover.com, www.discover.com, and apply for your card, for your credit card, and that should help you.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
usually their limit might be 1,000 or 2,000 to start with.
Yes.
So that
Yes,
would
ma'am.
help you whenever you're out or whatever.
Morning po,
That
Doc.
you can just pay it off as soon as you get paid. So
Yes,
that's what
ma'am.
everybody here is getting, because you cannot do anything without it. Like your Uber, your Lyft, if you want to rent a car, you need to have a card.
Yes.
So yeah, so I would
Hi
advise.
po, Doc. Good morning
Yeah.
po.
Hey, Mike, do you think, Mike, tell them about your experience about getting a credit card, Mike. I remember him so excited about it.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am Leila, I'll send you the link. So you will get 100 free, and I'll get 100 for the referral.
Recommending for recommending
Yeah,
you.
later.
That's good, Mike.
Yeah, I'll send you a referral later.
Referral fee. Okay, that's good. That's a good company, Leila, because even if somebody would charge illegally on your card, you will not be responsible for it. You know, you're zero responsibility. So to me, that's the best one. So yeah, do what Mike sent you. I mean, just apply. And anyway, so Mike, did you email or text me because of Zoom? Is that what you were doing?
Yes po. Yes po.
Okay, I got you. And so here's some chat. Everybody check your chat out if you haven't yet. And the very first part of the chat, if you scroll up, I put my my email and also the www.schoolspring.com. And I think Layla's going to type some of the other websites that she did. That's why she had 298 places that she she applied in. And so anyway, you are one patient woman. So because within a year you were able to find a place. So you're very persistent, and that helps a lot. All right, I talked to Giselle already. I talked to Mike. Mike, is there anything new that you want to share with everyone? What was it that you told me we need to talk about it in Zoom? I don't remember.
Yes, on how to apply, or we're going to refresh the steps on how to start the application. For those who want to be J1 teachers po.
Okay.
Though we sent already the links to them, it's better if we will explain to them how to start the procedures or the process of applying as a J1 teachers.
Okay, so Mike, if you don't mind to get that designated sponsored link again, put it on chat. Okay,
Yes,
that's everybody. That visa designated sponsor that Mike is about to post. That's very important because those are the list of visa sponsors that are vetted by the state government of the US in order to become sponsors. So if your sponsor is not on the list, they're not really a vetted sponsor. That means they are just a placement agency. They're just a third-party agency that would still need to partner with one of these agencies on the list. So you are going to be paying double if you are getting somebody that's not on the list. So Layla, do you agree with me that you have to? I mean, Layla would not know that because she's an H-1B, but it's important to be on these contact this company organization on the list. It's a link. So once let me see if I could share. I'm gonna share my screen real quick. Oh no. Hi Mike, can you make me well, you can do it, Mike. If you want to share with them, share the screen, your screen, and you show them the designated visa sponsors. I want to show them that so that they'll see that that's a list of 2 pages. And that's so important to be on that list to contact these people. They have limited number of people.
Share make it on host po.
Okay, so I can share it now.
Yes po.
Okay, so I can share, and I can share and share my screen. And then find the visa sponsors. Okay, so here's the designated, I just put designated visa sponsors, and you watch, there's so many that would say that, but you need to look for the one that says Department of State. Department of State is the one that's the one from the US. The others are companies. So right here, Department of State, it's a gov. That means it's a government thing. And when you get here, this is actually for everybody that want to come to the US on J1 visa, and there's several different kinds. There's programs there. This is the same program that would have teachers or whatever. So you want the teacher. So you go down here in the program and you find teacher. See, it's for different jobs. So you want teacher, and once you get there, then you see these pages with sponsors in here. Okay, so like Mike, give me a company that's been good. I think Greenheart.
GEC po.
Huh?
Yeah. The GEC, man.
GEC, you think? GEC is expensive, Mike. I think Greenheart might be better because it's a nonprofit. Of course, that's an opinion thing. It's whatever you all want. But let's just say, let me see if I could, any of this that will come up first. So for example, I would go to, and they could be anywhere. They don't, if for example, San Diego, California, they may want to sponsor in California, but some of them that's not like state specific, then then you can ask them. Like California Department of Education, of course, that's going to be for the teachers who want to teach in California. So don't choose them because that's only for California unless you want to teach in California. And so in other places that have like in what is this, the first one? Educational seniors, educational services. So I would click on that link, for example, and it would take me to their website. And so you just see, it looked like a good one, but I do not really know. But what you can do is look at their FAQs. Usually you frequently ask questions in order for you to see if that is something, that is something that you are, so you said, well, how do I apply for a J1 teacher program visa? To participate, you must apply for J1 visa. Okay. Here's the information. They even tell you the information of where to go, but really, once you have applied it with one of these visa sponsors and you become one of, that they will take you as one of their member, then they will, if you have a placement already, like for example, if you went to www.schoolspring.com and found somebody, right, Layla and Mike, that I found somebody that will give you a job offer after your successful interview, then you can just tell them, I already have a visa sponsor. And that visa sponsor is the one of these organizations here. See, the question is, you go to this one and it says it takes you to the website with the forms. Actually, is what they're doing here. But travel.state.gov is when you see U.S. Department of State, that is the official one. Some of them don't, be careful. Make sure that it is the one that says gov, G-O-V, okay? Because if it says com or org even, it's not going to be the government, the U.S. government official site. You want the official site, because if it's not the official site, they will be charging you anyway. This one will be all free. And so then you can start looking at which information you want. And then the form here, see, Mike is H-1B and Layla is H-1B. But for those that are on J-1 visa, what happens is that once you get your sponsor, then you have a placement, you have a job offer, J-O. Once you have that job offer, that's the most important thing, because that means that it's gonna, let you have that to be able to apply. And once you have that job offer, then you apply for a visa. You apply for a visa, and once it's approved, then you will be getting your interview, and usually in embassy close to you. Like in Cebu's embassy had been closed, so I guess Manila would be. I don't know if are there other places in the Philippines that would interview other than Manila? Does anybody know? Layla, do you know if there's any other embassy in U.S. embassy?
I think no, it's only in
No.
Manila, ma'am.
Manila. So you go to Manila, you get your interview, and once you get the visa approved, then that's when you could actually get your ticket and come. So it's so far it's been really good. I mean, I've only heard of one person that got disapproved, and I do not know the reason. She came from another country, not Philippines, but she is Filipino, but she got disapproved and she didn't know the reason, I don't think. So usually they would either my brother-in-law is working for the Department of Immigration, and so he told me one of the things that they would put a flag on is that somebody coming here with no more ties back in the country. So, for example, if you work in Thailand and you did it through the Thailand embassy, and they're going to want to see, do you have anything in Thailand that you will go back for? Well, you're not going to have anything in Thailand because that's not your country. But if you did that to the Philippines, then they're going to see, do you have some kids there that's left? Do you have any family there that's left? Do you have your own properties in the Philippines that you can prove that this is your property? You have some kind of tie back to the country. And that's usually what gets people, is that if they don't have any kids, they're single and they don't have any home there or whatever, and their parents are already gone, then they don't really have anybody that they want to visit to. So what's the point of going back? So they're not going to be going back. And that's what they're worried about, is that somebody would just be tago ng tago or TNT here. You don't want to be TNT here. Or there are some people that have been, and that is no good, because that means you don't have any papers, you cannot work legally, and you're going to be under the table paying. So that's not going to be a good life for you. So you need to make things legal, okay? On the J1 visa, it will be approved up to 3 years. Really, the maximum is 5, but 3 years is you're supposed to go back for a 2-year. After 3 years, you're supposed to go back for 2-year physical presence, which means you have to go back to the Philippines, teach them what you've learned, and then you can come back for 2 more years. But the beauty of it is right now is there is a shortage of teachers, so you can actually apply for a waiver, which means that you don't have to go back to for the 2 years if approved. And it's online. And so if you're approved, then you can teach here for 5 years. And so hopefully the school would like you so much that they would go ahead and change your visa to an H-1B. And that's why I'm working with the first batch of Helena teachers. I'm already working with getting their J1 visa, hopefully, do an adjustment of status where they would be on H-1B because their school had approved that they will pay for it. Because on H-1B, the school has to pay for everything. So that's the nice thing about H-1B. That's why not very many schools, if they don't know you, will want to sponsor, H-1B. That's why Layla is very, very, very lucky. And Mike and April, Dina, and what was the other one that I forgot? Jansen. The 4 of them are very lucky also because they got approved. They're here. They just, Mike was the first one here. And so, but H-1B is just a dream for a lot of people because J1 is easier to get. J1 is pretty much a teacher exchange program where you actually, that's why every semester you have to show your sponsor that you have been doing something culturally, significant. Like, for example, you're sharing our country's information to your students. And then you learn something from your students. Like if there's some community event that's American and you went down there and took some pictures and, all this different proof or evidence that you did learn something about America and you did teach American children or American people, American folks about our culture, then you need to document that because every semester they're going to want something from you that you are learning something. Like, for example, in our trip, like our field trip to Texas, that would be something they could share because they're actually learning about another state. Those are some pictures that we took. And that's why we even took our banner with us, ITSA, International Teacher Support in America, with us in order to show that these are a bunch of teachers that are sharing and traveling together. And that's why I wanted to provide that for them. And we passed through Tennessee, we passed through Oklahoma, Texas. So they visited other states. So that was good. And anyway, so when I meant Tennessee, Layla, I meant Memphis. So anyhow, no, I lied. We did not go to Memphis. We went to Texarkana, which is still Arkansas. So no, Memphis is where they actually will go and do some shopping for their groceries, right, Mike? You go grocery shopping in farmers market in Memphis, right?
Yes, po. In Cordova.
Yeah, it's called Cordova, and that's a really big market that they could buy all our food that we miss. So anyway, so those are any questions about how to do the J1 visa. So if you're on my list, what happens is that if you're on my list, you sent me your resume, your cover letter, and your letter of recommendation. I will ask you for passport and all the other stuff later. But right now, the main thing in order to get to my list is the cover letter, resume, and 3 letters of recommendation. Have it addressed to either dear principal, superintendent, and or hiring committee, because those are the possibilities, or even HR, human resources. So just for hiring committee, and then colon, and then you tell them about something about yourself or whatever, and then for the letters of recommendations, have them to have it coming from your principal, one of your former supervisors, and a colleague, and maybe a personal friend that would tell them about your character reference. What kind of person are you? Which kind of references did you use, Layla and Mike? What kind of references? Who did you get it from? Do you remember?
My former school heads po, and one of my co-teachers in Qatar.
Yeah, and I think make sure that these people actually like you, because if they don't, they're not going to write something positive about you. Okay. I want to change host after I go back to the sharing thing.
Sure.
Stop sharing. Stop share. Yeah, you need to make sure that they actually like you, because if they don't, that's not going to be something that would look good on whatever they're writing. So of course, that's a common sense. When I'm reading a letter of recommendation, I can always tell when someone really cares about this teacher because of the warm words that they would use, you know, that you were saying about how good a teacher you are or whatever. I usually write, this teacher would be an asset to your organization or to your school, because, and I really do mean it. If I think that you are, then I will write that down, you know. So that means that you're good. A good question to ask by someone who is checking your recommendation is, if will you hire this teacher again? Of course, it needs to be a yes, right? So if they would pause, and that means, oh, you know, this might be a teacher that I need to watch. Sometimes some administrators would say good, yes, because they want to get rid of that teacher. You don't want that kind, right? You want someone that really do care about that teacher. They don't want to lose them, but at the same time, we understand that, you know, people want to be in, you know, have a better future, which is coming to the US, right? All right. So, Joanna, Joanne, do you want to talk to us? For those that are new here, I always want people to introduce themselves, because later on I might go and review, you know, if they need a recommendation in your field, I want to go review our Zoom recordings and to see what you said and how fluent you are, and, you know, just kind of who you are. So Joanne, this will be a 2-minute or 2 to 3 minute elevator speech about yourself. Put your name, what degrees you finished, your experience, and interest, if you have any other thing that you might want to coach, like chess or badminton or whatever. And then why do you want to come to the US? Those are some basic things that you want to share, and anything else that you want to put. Okay, go ahead.
This is on the spot, so I'm not okay. Dr. Merlina, thank you for this chance. So I'm Joanne. My full name is Joanna Marie Santos Labajos. I am married to a teacher as well. And I do have 3 boys. They are 24, 22, and 20. So those are the ages of my kids. So that's actually one of my worries when it comes to bringing them, because I am taking it positively that I will be going to America soon. Okay. So I am a graduate of Philippine Normal University with a bachelor degree in elementary education. And I have been teaching for 27, 28 years. Why did I say 27, 28? Because I had this 14 years of experience in my first school, which is in Cavite, here in the Philippines. Then I transferred to Perpetual Health College in Las Piñas. And then after that, I got an offer in Indonesia. And that is where I have taught for 11 years. It's an international school, so I've handled grade 4 IB under IB curriculum. So I am more into, like what you said, it has to be the hands-on that we need to give these kids, more on differentiation. So I have more of that training from Indonesia. And then after that Indonesia, because of this pandemic, I've decided to come home and planned to actually retire. So that's what I told my previous school. But then after 1 year of resting, I got bored. I was like, being a teacher, I was like looking for kids and looking for things to work on again. Then, as of the moment, I am presently teaching and helping my friend who owns a school. And I am a grades 4, 5, and 6 teacher, handling science and English. And then I haven't told her that I am planning to go to America because I would like to serve her first. So I've decided to stay 1 more year with her. So
Okay.
I'm planning to be with you, Dr. Merlina, in 2024, 2025.
That would be nice, right? That you would never know, though. I mean, you know, those Layla and Mike were on the other side where you are, you know, a few months ago, and now they're here. So you never know. So be positive like that. Just remember that you need to keep a job, because if you are not currently teaching, you're not going to be able to qualify for the J1 visa. So make
Okay.
sure that you have a job whenever you're applying, because the sponsor's not going to let you, will not even accept you if you don't have a current job, okay, as a teacher.
So I'm
Yeah.
going to kiss my principal right now, who's my friend as well and the owner of the school, because she really gave me the chance, or she is giving me the chance to teach again
Right.
after being board for a year. So thank
Yeah.
you for that.
I
And I would
understand.
like to
Yeah.
say, yeah, go.
Go ahead. I'd like to say what?
I'd like to say thank you actually to Miss Joanna Cubia.
Oh, yeah, she's the one that told you. Oh,
Mhm.
okay. Yeah, she's wonderful. She's doing
me
wonderfully
and
here. I enjoyed
Diane, right?
visiting her.
Diane, who's here right now with us, was also my friend and my co-worker in Indonesia, together with Joanna.
Okay.
So the
Well,
three of us.
that's so good. I'm so
Yeah,
glad that
that's
Jana
why.
told you about us.
Yeah,
Yeah, she
that's
is
why
doing
I'm so
so.
excited.
Yeah, she's doing so well. She's an amazing teacher. I get to
She
observe
is.
them. Yeah, I get to
Coming
observe
from
them often.
Indonesia teachers, sorry. We're so, okay.
No, that's
Let's
okay.
slow down.
Hey, whenever you did a very good job introducing yourself. What you might want to not say is, do not say you're married. That's something that we cannot even
Oh,
ask.
okay.
That's a legal question here. And do
Okay.
not say how many kids you have, because you don't want to create a bias. You know, you don't want somebody
Oh.
that, oh, we don't want to hire her because of this. You don't have to tell them that,
Okay.
because that is,
Good.
and your experience, do not say I'm about to retire. Say something about I have 20 plus years of experience. You don't have to be specific,
Okay.
because you
thank
don't
you
want
for that
somebody
info.
that just hanging their purse by the door. That's what they say
Okay.
there, which means that you're just about ready to quit. And you don't want to hire somebody and then have to hire another person. That's what I'm saying. You do not want to say 27 years, because that's like retirement age here.
Oh, okay.
28 years is when you retire in Arkansas and you're done. But
Oh.
I know exactly what you mean about being bored, because when I retired in 2016, officially retired in 2016 from education, I was so depressed. I said,
Mm.
if I'm not a teacher, who am I? You know, for
Yeah.
6 months in our law rules here, for 6 months, you cannot do anything. You cannot do any employment or anything, not consulting. So after 6 months, then I did consulting work, which I do now. But I retired from the Department of Education, which is the main office here of the actual Department of Education here. There's 500 people working there in Little Rock. And so when you also say something about you work for the Department of Education, don't DepEd know you work for either a public school or a private school. Because here, when you say you work for the Department of Education, you really do work at the office of the Department of Education. That is, yeah, they are going to think of you as working in the office, not working as a school. So you need to say public or private school. And then and you said about missing kids, that's a really good thing. That means you need a kid fix. And when you say something about IB, being in IB, school and all that, that's really good. You might want to also say, because of my experience in Singapore, I'm able to teach diverse students, diverse learners, and this should help me as I transition to America, to teaching in America, and that should help me get ready, to teach, a variety of children, the variety of learners. So you wanna show that what you've learned in another country is gonna apply to what you're gonna be teaching here. You're gonna be learning as a new teacher in America. Yeah. So I think you are very fluent. I should not see any problem with you in your interviews.
Thank you.
Make sure you visit www.schoolspring.com and the other things that Layla had put in there, because I have a lot of people now messaging me that they have had interviews, and the very active interview months are going to be March, April, May, June, and then July is when July 1st is the official start of the next school year for the schools. And so they're going to make sure that they have hired everybody by July, because school will start in August. But by May, from experience, by May, some of the J1 visa sponsors might be running out of slots already. They are given so many slots. So the sooner you get in, the better for you, because slots are limited. I think there are 65,000 a limit application, but that's not just the Philippines, that's all over the world coming in. And so you need to be within that limit. If you have your master's degree and above, especially doctorate degree, that should be helpful because that's a priority. That's like you have a higher level, a higher chance of getting accepted. And so those that you need to make sure you mention that I have, I have my master's degree, or I'm working on, my master's degree with anticipated date of graduation in a year or whatever. And don't say the word units. They don't know what units are. I have 18 units. Don't say that. Say 18 hours. Units means hours here. We don't say units. We say hours. So every class is worth 3 hours instead of 3 units. And most master's degree here is either 30 hours or 10 subjects or 36 hours. 12 subjects. I don't know how many in the Philippines. How many hours is you're done in your master's? You have 30 units, 30, 20, 36 units? What is it?
36 units.
36
Doctor.
units. Yeah. So that's going to be common. But there's some 30 hours like social studies. That's what a bunch of our athletic coaches are getting their masters in like social studies area, because that's like two less subjects. We always joke about that. Yeah, your social studies because of 2 less subjects. And every state has a different cutoff score on the licensure. Like, for example, in Arkansas, I think it's 6 points less than Mississippi. I mean, more than Mississippi. So some of our coaches, a lot of our coaches that could not pass the Arkansas licensure, they would take their licensure in Mississippi, which is only another state over. And then, or 2 states over. And then when they pass it, then they would apply for reciprocity in Arkansas, because that's accepted. Reciprocity means that as another state is saying yes to another license from another state. Okay. And a common thing that most of the applicants had been doing, I don't know if that's good or not, is applying for a New Mexico license. It's under Department of Education in Mexico. Mike, do you mind getting that link to New Mexico licensure? When you get to New Mexico Department of Education, then you go under licensure and then follow their directions on reciprocity, which is online. And I think it doesn't cost very much either. And then once you get your New Mexico license, that's going to be easier for you to transition to another state. And that's going to be also attractive to other states saying that, oh, I have my New Mexico license. But in Arkansas, that's not going to work really well, because the Department of Education here are frowning upon somebody getting a New Mexico license when you're not even teaching in New Mexico. And it's just that somebody had discovered that New Mexico has the easiest reciprocity process. It's not very strict. So thousands of people have been getting the New Mexico license. And so if you do have your New Mexico license, if you apply in Arkansas, you don't have to mention that, because sometimes some people think of it negatively. But in other states, that's something that they would want, because, oh, you already have the reciprocity in another state. That's going to be easier for you to do your licensure in that state. I'm National Board Certified Teacher, which means I went above another test above the regular board. And I'm qualified to teach in maybe 41 out of the 50 states without any additional thing, because that national board certification is kind of like an extra thing that you can get, but the applicants cannot qualify on it yet, because you have to have taught at least 3 years here for you to apply for that. But once you get here and you really stay in the US, I would encourage you to go do your national board. For one thing, if you teach at the high poverty area, you get $10,000 more. That's $500,000 peso more than what you're getting. And in Arkansas, the new law had just passed that everybody has to start at $50,000, $2.5 million for the year. And that's teaching 9 months. You're off in June, July, and part of August. And you are getting paid that much money, 2.5 million. And so that's why people come here, because that's high, the pay is high and the standard of living is also low. Like our rent here, as I was just sharing, like Mike's home there, where they have 5-bedroom that 5 people are sharing, they pay like 300. Mike, is it 300 or 350 you're paying? 300?
Soon po, we're going to transfer this coming April, April 7, and the house rent is only 1,000 and we are 4, so it's 250 po.
Yeah. See,
Yeah,
I
for
see
the house
Layla,
rent.
there's a big difference. Layla is paying 1,200. And that's for
And
two
that is
people.
that is a 5 bedrooms.
Yeah, that's really good. And Layla is on a 3-bedroom and sharing bath, and that's 1,200. That's the difference between the big city. You know, Nashville, Tennessee is the music capital of the world. It's a big city. And where they are in Helena is a pretty, like a suburb, parang probinsya. It's like a province.
Yes po, it's a province here.
It's a province. Mike just got back from Las Vegas, so I'm sure that he came back to Helena saying, "Oh my
Yes po.
gosh, this is really a province." What's the difference
Yes
between
po.
Las Vegas
Merlina,
and
I
And the
just
Helena?
only
would
mall
like-
here in Arkansas is the Walmart. That's all.
But you have not been to Little Rock where the malls are, Mike.
Yes, and you can save a lot po. You can save a lot here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cheaper. In Arkansas is one of the cheapest states to live in. Some people we are getting a lot of people from California, from Chicago, Wisconsin, retiring here, because if they sold their house in California for $1.5 million, and for the same house, they would buy something for 300,000 here, 5 times less. So it's like my former home, I had a 5-bedroom home with an indoor pool, and one of my California friends visited me and he said, if this is in California, this would be like $1.5 million. And I sold it for less than 400,000, which is about 20 million pesos. But it's a very big difference. That's how big a difference is here. But everything housing in America is very high anyway. But we make good money, so just kind of be a good steward of your income. So any questions, especially for new ones that are here? For those that were not early, because I opened early because I wanted to talk to some folks. I don't know if you know anything about me. Some people were talking. I'm a retired teacher, actually, a retired administrator, worked for Department of Education for 3 years, and then I'm still a professor at Arkansas State University. I teach at the graduate level. So most of my students are teachers or principals. And then I teach the superintendent level as well. So I have So I usually have a name recognition with teachers and administrators here, which was helpful when I got all the list compiled for the applicants. Maybe, hopefully you are in there, and that they recognize my name. And so they would actually email me or text me and say, "Hey, Merlina, can you please send me, all the applicants for the math? I want you to tell me some names. I want you to put a star or highlight the names of those that you really know, that you have talked to or whatever." So that's why it's important to attend the Zoom. And when I ask you to do a 2 to 3 minute speech about yourself, because sometimes I would go back and I would look at your recording, see how you are, because I don't feel comfortable recommending somebody personally to someone I know if I have never met you, if I've never heard you talk. Right. And so you are part, and hopefully you are part of our ITSA group on Facebook. Be active in there, do some comments or whatever, because a bunch of those members are administrator friends of mine, and they're observing some people that are very active there. And make sure your spelling is correct. You don't want to have that, negative feedback. I mean, not negative perspective of you, that like, oh, this teacher cannot spell, But of course, being literacy, I'm kind of very aware of that. So I was teaching, I guess I have taught all the subjects except nothing except I've taught all the subjects, and then 10th and 12th grade are the only 2 grades I have not taught. And I was principal and curriculum director. So I've checked off all those boxes that I want to do before I retired. And that's why I retired in 2016. In Arkansas, you can retire at 28 years. I did 25 years because I wanted to continue working in education, but not working in school, because I was in Little Rock, which is 3 hours away from home for me. So my husband, we've been married 36 years now. He said, I kind of am tired of having a part-time wife. I'm only coming home on Fridays and leaving again on Sunday. And I was staying with my sister there in Little Rock. And so I decided to retire, which I'm glad, because now I'm free to actually do consulting work. And how it works is that the school pays me to become a coach to the teachers that I brought here. So I actually would observe them and I would give them comment. I have not watched Mike. I visited Mike's room, but he has more facilitating online right now. But like Jonna, for example, I've watched her teach, and then I would comment, I would debrief with them and say, hey, I love the way that you did this, this, and this. You might want to improve on this. You know, let's work on this. You know, for example, a common thing that I would ask is try to ask some high level questions, like with how and why, you know, deep level questions instead of just what. And try to do some more cheerleading. That's one of the standard is setting a positive culture in your classroom, like good job, or let's give them a clap, or let's give them a round of applause, or, you know, thumbs up, everyone, you know, things like that. You want to do a cheerleading, comment, positive validation to your students. Sometimes it's missing. And I look for that. And sometimes I just like, you know, formative assessment of asking who, if you understood, thumbs up or double thumbs up. If you're still confused, sideways. Okay, that way I know if you're still confused, I need to clarify more, give more example before moving on. And teachers should have something like that. I would do things like, if you're still confused, I want you to stand up and touch your left ear with your right hand, something like that, in order for that, you know, brain research is saying if it crosses, it's good for the kids, it wakes up the kids. And so, you know, or hop up like a rabbit for elementary. They like that. Don't do it in high school. But anyway, so things like that in order for them to, especially at the, like after lunch, they're so sleepy. I would do things like that. Like, you know, if you understood a lesson very well, I want you to tap the shoulder of your partner on your right, and something like that, you know. So just make it an active thing, but at the same time, you're also checking the understanding of your students. A lot of times we get into like, oh, I need to teach this, I need to cover this, but you're really not just covering, you need to uncover the whatever it is that you're teaching. And are you doing it hands-on, or are you just going to be sage on stage? You're just talking to the students instead of asking the students to perform. You know, a gradual release of responsibility, GRR, is a good method. That means that you teach to the students. So I do it as a teacher, I do it. And then after I've introduced the lesson to the students, we do it. I guide the learning with the students. So we do it together. And then before you do it. That means that either students are doing it by pairs or small group, and then eventually can they do it by themselves. So look at the guidance that I'm providing. I'm doing it by myself. We're doing it together as a class. And then when you're doing it as a group with a partner or two other people, I always say four is the ideal. Don't ever do 5 in a group, because one is always a slug that will just, you know, will not do anything. So 4 will be a ideal group. And then after that, you feel comfortable. Okay, the students can do it now. Now I'm going to let them do it by themselves. Okay. And I always say partner, you know, having a partner is always good, especially for your struggling learners, because you have each other's support, you know, the peer support. In fact, I've been known to, like, my desk, I've been known to have them being with partners like this, instead of having, you know, spread out. I have them with partners, because it's easy with partners, because then if you want them to be 4 in a group, you just join with another pair, very easy. And so, and then I have them do a lot of presentation, you know. So when you work with a pair, I want you to be ready, because whatever it is that you're developing or doing, you're going to present in front of the class. And once you do it in front of the class, we're going to validate you by commenting on it. Like, oh, I love the way that you spoke. I love the way you're very, very clear. Your examples are really good. You know, the classmates are doing a comment. I always model it by saying sandwich comments, like something positive, something they need to improve, and then another positive, you know, so you sandwich the feedback improvement in the middle. So I would say things like, you know what, the poster that you made is very, 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 attractive. Yeah, it's really going to catch a person, like a very good visual help for your classmates. And I like the way that you work as a team, you know. But you might want to improve on this, you know. So one of you was, you know, the voice is not very clear from the back, whatever. You might want to kind of have a practice together, make sure that you could, you know, you could give each other some feedback, and then finish with another comment that's positive. I do that same with parent-teacher conference with parents. I always start with something positive, something that their kid needs to improve, and then another positive. So if you do something like that, your class should be fun, because it's not just you talking, it's like you are a guide and a facilitator. But you always need to model this. The beginning of the year, my first 2 months, I model all these things that I do. That's why I've said in the past that I'm into hands-on learning. So if I have a topic that I always think of which guest speaker can I bring in? Which person in school that will be an expert on this that can bring in? And having a monthly project, for example, that we actually pick our audience ahead of time. So for example, if we say we're doing this project and our audience is going to be our first graders. So the first graders are going to come here and watch you perform this or share this. Of course, why is that important to know the audience? It's because your words are going to be simpler because you're going to be talking to your first graders. But if your audience is going to be people your age or even higher, like high school kids are going to come here, then their vocabulary, the words that they're going to be using need to be more complex. So multisyllabic words, harder words, instead of saying nice or pretty, say beautiful. Say, so gorgeous, more fancy words because of your audience. So something like that anyway. So I'm sharing this because when you do your interview, you're going to be asked about how do you teach in your classroom? And so when you teach in your classroom, you need to be showing them how you do a GRR, gradual release of responsibility, where you are always teaching first, you're guiding them before you tell them to do independent. Okay, and that's a very big weakness for some lessons. When I see somebody just, okay, let me introduce this, and then, there you go, you can do this now. That's not good enough. Okay, you need to guide them first and then have them, support each other before you give it to them. Any question? Who uses a gradual GRR already in their classroom? You might be already using this, you just did not call it that. Who uses this a lot? Anybody? This is okay. Who's that? Clamor? Yeah, how do you use that in your classroom? Give me an example.
We call it in our school, we call it explicit teaching. First thing, the teacher demonstrates what the lesson is about, and then after that, they will have the whole class or the group activity wherein they perform or demonstrate the expected objective or target, and then after that, independent practice. So all the pupils will perform individually the desired outcome.
Very good. Oh, I love that. I love your expectation of that. If you do an interview question and you say that, and then you might want to also say it might also be called a GRR or gradual release of responsibility. Yeah, and the American interviewers would know what you're talking about. Although we do say explicit teaching as well, but it's not something that's more of a strategy. GRR is like a strategy. It's considered a teaching strategy. But very good. Thank you so much for that. Yeah. Because we already do that. We just call it differently in other countries, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So so who else? Well, I have you, Clamor. Do you want to introduce yourself? I would like to see your introduction.
Sure. Yes. I am Clamor Cecilia Liza, and my pupils always call me Teacher Clamor. I'm a graduate of Bachelor of Elementary Education in Andres Bonifacio College here in our locality, here in Mindanao, actually. And then I have been teaching since June of 2006. That's more or less 17 years. So I'll be 17 years teaching this June here in our in a public school here in our city. Well, I wanted to apply in the US because firstly, it's my mom's dream. I just want to live the dream of my mom. And then second would be 17 years of teaching here in the country actually made the space a little bit smaller. So I want to grow more professionally in the field of education. So I want to challenge myself and explore there in the US. But why in the US? So for me, if it's not in the US, I'd rather stay here and then make the best out of it. And also, I've been wanting to represent myself in a bigger stage, but I'm not that beautiful nor that intelligent, but I can make things happen. So maybe this teaching field would give me that opportunity to represent my country in the international arena. And also, the most important thing is that I wanted to gain more knowledge, skills, and experience so that I could also give this knowledge, these skills, and the experience that I have, uh, share it with my co-teachers here in the Philippines if ever I will be back here and teach. Because in my first year of teaching, I was able to attend a USAID teaching experience. It's called Tudlo Mindanao. It's a project by the USAID in cooperation with the Department of Education. So we were taught by American teachers. They are actually retired American teachers, and I had fun. I really enjoyed what they imparted to us, and some I could not remember all of it, so I just applied some of their strategies and their methods in teaching grade 1 pupils and also grade 6. Now that I'm in a grade 6 level, I also used some of it. Yes.
Very good. Make sure you mention that in your interview, Clamor. You're very good at it. Make sure you mention about that experience, because that's a really good thing to say, that you have experience having been taught by retired teachers from the US. I think that's going to help you.
Yes.
And also, I love that your dream of your mom that you're going to try to do. Is your mom still with us?
No, she passed away 2 years ago.
Oh, I'm so
Actually, before she passed, she encouraged me to apply. I actually did. I tried, but she got sick, and then I was not able to finish the application. And after 2 years, I got the strength and the what do you call this? The encouragement to again live and fulfill that dream.
Very good. And that makes you, shows that you're a good son, so you might want to mention whenever you share about trying to fulfill your mom's dream who had passed away 2 years ago. You may want to share that too. That's good, because that's really impressive that you want to make somebody's dream come true, especially your mom. And if we need, instead of using pupils, you might want to use the word students. Okay, because we never use pupils here. We always say students or learners. So those are just a small correction, but I do not have any problem worrying about you in your interview. You're gonna be so good.
Thank you so much.
And I love the way that your reason for coming. That's really deep. And I know that one of the reasons is maybe financial, and that's a very common thing that people would say, oh, I want a greener pasture, and it gets paid more, but that's a given. That's something on the side.
Yes, although yes, that could also be part, but for me, it's really the experience, because I actually see myself to retire here in the Philippines, because I just wanted this experience and also share it to my co-teachers. Actually, the lessons that I get out of the USAID seminar that we had at Tudlo Mindanao, I actually share it with my colleagues here in Dipolog.
Okay, well, as an administrator listening to you, it makes it sound like you're just going to do a short time with us. And we don't want to hear that, because we wanted to hear somebody that would last a long time. Why don't I hire another person in a year or two? So you might not avoid doing that, saying, you could say things like, with the technology now, I could always share what I learned with my colleagues.
Okay.
Your colleagues would be something that you're sharing stuff, but it doesn't have to sound like, oh, I'm gonna be here on a short stint. You're only here for a year or two. You don't want that. Don't ever want that. You want somebody that would stay. Okay. So when you're interviewing, do not think of something like, how does it sound like? Does it sound like I'm just going to be here for a year or two? No administrator would want that. Yeah.
Just a bite of the cake.
That's right. Like a vacation for you and you're going to go back. It's okay. I mean, when you say, I want to go back, you might say, when I'm really old, and when I'm really old and I want to go back, that would be better, instead of like, oh, this teacher is going to leave us. Right? Layla, what do you think about that, Layla? Layla,
yes, Merlina, you're right.
Yeah. And when I'm listening to somebody, and that's why it's important that you introduce yourself, because I could give you little comments. So when you do your interview, that's your first impression with them, right? And Layla has done so many of them, so she's a pro on this. What were the things that you have done, some things that you did, Layla, that you should not have said, that in some interviews that like, oh, I didn't get it because of this, Were there some things that you said that you should not have said?
Example of that is I always say, so we need to have a filler for that. Just like is an example of a filler. So I always say, I'm out of words. I don't know what to say next. So maybe that was the reason why I was not getting the job offer. So, and then I don't know what to say. I don't know what comes into my mind. I forgot it because I'm so nervous. So if you have the interview, you should first pray and believe in yourself and focus on the interview. And do not be afraid. They will not eat you or they will not kill you.
Yeah.
But be confident enough.
Yeah. Oh, good tip there. Yeah. Take a deep breath like 10 times before the interview. My mom always said, when you come in the room for an actual interview face to face, you go by the door and you kick the door 3 times. It's actually not the kicking part. It's actually the composing part. You're getting yourself composed for the interview. And I've always like kind of did something like that when I feel I'm really taking a deep breath like that, because it's scary. Here's a bunch of strangers looking at you. And I have several interviews, either I was doing interviewing or I was being interviewed. And luckily for me, I've always, I guess, done okay with interviews because I've always been offered a job. I just said, no, I have another one. But it's good to experience that. But I have experience when I first started teaching in the 90s that I was nervous, like especially before the administrator would come in and watch me. I remember the first time that principal was going to come, and I was like having a panic attack. I was like, oh my God, I was scared to death. And my next door neighbor, who's still my friend now, and I said, Gail, I am very nervous. I'm about to pass out. That's how bad I feel. And he said, Merlina, David is went to school with you. And I said, I know, but he's now our principal, And so she held my hand right there, because we had a shared bathroom between each classroom. She held my hand and prayed with me, that to keep me calm and be confident. And that really calmed me down. Somebody was praying with you. And so you can do that for yourself. Silently pray. Like, God, I'll do my best. Please do the rest, kind of type prayer. Because your passion for your students will show. Just like on your interview, when you show that I'm really passionate about education. And that's one of the reasons why I'm into education, is because I'm very passionate about it. I'm very passionate about teaching students, diverse students, some things that I may know. And also I learn from them. And that's also important to say, that you don't have all the knowledge. Your students may know some things that you don't know. So I'm always saying that I also learn from my students. So when I come to the US, and one of the reasons is because I also want to know from my students. They might learn from me, but at the same time, I'm also learning from them and from my colleagues, So anyway, so yeah, those are some really good things that you said, Clamor. Clamor, you're one of those that I will not be worried about your interview. Don't you think?
Thank you so
agree with me?
much.
Yeah, so you are very fluent. You look like you have lived in the US. So that's a good compliment from me, right? Everybody, let's give him a round of applause. We
Thank you
have to
so
model what I'm
much.
saying, I'm teaching, right? So in your classroom, you have to have students validate each other. That's building a learning community where you're validating each other. You know, you have so many different claps that you teach them, because that looks good. You're creating a positive classroom where you encourage students to grow and to, you know, to be proud of themselves, of their accomplishment. And you want the others to also be proud of them. You know, you want them to brag on each other. You don't ever want to have kids insult each other. When I'm observing classrooms, I also observe how the students are treating each other, because a lot of times it's what the teacher had modeled. So if the students are mean to each other, maybe that teacher was also mean to the students when I'm not watching. So it reflects back to yourself. So if I see students that are so kind to each other, like, oh, let me help you. You know, that's like when somebody did not know the answer and they look embarrassed, especially your middle-aged, you know, your middle school age students. You need to say, hey, can you throw a lifeboat and throw, you know, call a friend. I want you to call a friend, and friend, you need to make sure that you help, you know, so don't, you're not embarrassed that way. Okay, any friend that would want to volunteer to help. Okay, so that way that the student will not be like there, you know, being like a frozen statue because I don't know the answer, you know. So make sure that you give them that out, you know, that you are able to call a friend, and it's okay to do that, right? Because we don't know all the answers. And sometimes we might have had a rough night, you know, some of them, oh my gosh, sadly, they're addicted to their devices. And that's a very common problem in America. I do not know if that's a problem in the Philippines, but in the US, we have students that are so sleepy in the class because they stayed up till 3-4 o'clock in the morning, maybe later, without their parents knowing. And we know that because how they act in school. So what I usually do is I call the parents. When I notice this, I immediately call the parents, said, hey, I noticed that your child was sleeping today. I wonder if he's not feeling well, or is there something going on? I wonder if he's playing, you know, does he play any devices at home? You know, I was very strict. I would collect my kids' phone before they go to bed, and that way they won't be doing that all night long. You know, I would collect it, and before we eat, we also collect it. That way we have a good conversation instead of people being on the phone while we are eating. You know, but different families do something differently. So if the parents are aware, then they will do something about it. One example was when I was teaching 11th grade English. This student was sleeping, like sleep. And I said, not acceptable in my classroom. I am not boring. I do not put people to sleep. We do things here very actively. You're going to be up and you're going to be doing things. You're going to be doing role play. You're going to be doing all this. You are not sleeping. It's not allowed in my, but Dr. McCullough, he always sleeps in every classroom. I said, not my classroom. And so anyway, so the first day that I was there, you know, I was a substitute that last year because the teacher had cancer, and I was stopping half middle of the year to move back home because my husband has some health issues. And so when I enrolled Jet, they were giving me, Merlina, we need a literacy teacher in 8th and 11th grade English. Can you please do it? And I said, okay, I'll do it. And so the student was like, was very surprised that here I am making a big deal out of it, because I called the parent like immediately and said, oh, Merlina, I did not know that my son is sleeping. And I said, yes, he's sleeping at every class. That's what the classmates were saying. And so, you know, she found out that he's been working overtime at work that he's not supposed to. You know, high school students here can have 16 years old here can work. But the parent was working also night shift. She did not know that her son was also working like really late and not able to have any rest at all. That's why he's resting during the day. And she said, that's not good. He's doing it to buy some kind of muscle truck or something. He was saving money for something he wanted to buy. And the mother said, education comes first. He's already 11th grade. He's going to graduate the next year. You know, so she made sure that he quit the job, but then having another job that would, you know, be 3 or 4 hours instead of 8 hours or whatever it was that he was getting. So I know that later on he thanked me for it. He said, oh, thank you, because you're only the only teacher that actually cared enough to make me want to pay attention, you know, because the other teacher just let him sleep. He's known to sleep at every class, not in my book. So don't ever just accept it because another teacher accepted it, especially behavior like that, right? But anyway, so I was a meanie, but no, it turned out to be good, really. It helped him. So this kid is now successful nurse, I think. Anyway, so he's in the medical area. So he's good. Anyway, any last comment, Clamor? Were my comments okay? I usually try to make comment that's not hurtful. So
Yes.
it's coming from the heart of love instead of
shocking.
okay. I try to do that even when I
I'll
was
take
principal.
note on those.
Huh?
Thank you so much. I'm taking note of those
Good.
things that you said.
Good. And I
Yes,
remember,
po.
I don't know it all. I'm a learner, you know, also. I also learn a lot from you. And that's why I love doing this. My husband was like, why do you keep doing this Zoom thing? And I'm like, I learned so much from these teachers. And because I've been gone from the Philippines 36 years, I'm learning a lot about our culture again, to me, and especially in the education world, because all my teaching experiences and my education is from the US. So to know that, you know, because I was only a student when I left there, I was a college student when I left there. So it's nice to know how the, you know, teaching world works, because this is helpful, because then I get to understand the teachers that are coming here. I get to know, you know, where you're coming from. Why does the teacher act this way? Because this is what the culture is in the Philippines. And that's why I guess it's unique that I have this opportunity, that here I am a Filipina, but I was a student in the Philippines. I was in private and public schools there. So I've experienced both. And then here I am in the US and have this many years in the US. So having the knowledge of both countries would help me and help everybody, I hope. Yeah. And they know at first they are like intimidated. Like I said, I am the least intimidated person in this world. I do not ever want to intimidate someone, because I'm coming here as a learner and with a caring heart that would like to help you instead of hurt you or get onto you or scold you. I would never do that, you know, so because I don't know it all. I might have my doctorate degree, but I don't know it all. Yep. Okay, so Layla is also one of those humble servants that I know. She's very humble. she's got her doctorate degree. I usually do not put the DR in my name, the doctor. I pull it in certain times, but because I'm meeting a lot of new people, and I felt like I had to prove myself. Like, who are you? Why are you doing this? What qualified you to do this? You know? So in situations, I would do that. When I'm a speaker at a big event, I would do my DR. Or I'm trying to get a free room somewhere. Look at teachers. And we did a trip. I said, I'm traveling with a bunch of teachers and we're so tired. No. Can you give us a deal with a room? You know, it was like $200 some and they gave it to us for $30. So my deal worked. But Leslie,
Hi, ma'am.
come in and tell them about that. She just got back with
Oh,
from Texas.
Yeah, we were needing for an additional room because we only had 2, and there are a lot of us. And you were like, you called them, and then you said, "I'm Dr. Merlina McCullough. I have a bunch of teachers in here, and you would like to book a room." And they gave it to you for $30 when it was supposed to be $200 something.
Yeah, because they really are very nice to teachers. They know how much we work, and they really would like to, you know, I was able to get a limo for teachers when I brought 2 teachers when they got their national board certification. I promised them, if you get your national board, I will take you to Vegas, you know, because they've never flown before. And I said, then I'll get you a limo. So I talked to them like, I have these teachers that really work so hard to get their extra test of national board. And I promised them to take them to Vegas and a limo. Can you help me make this promise, right? And they gave it to us for free. And the driver was like, you know, looking at us like, what star in Hollywood are you? You know, not like, we're just tired teachers. So we came there in the summer. Anyway, yeah, Leslie saw that. Leslie, were you here? Leslie is one of those, our success stories. She actually was, tell them about you, Leslie, and how you got here, and also tell them about Texas, if you don't mind. We have lots of new people here.
Good evening, everyone. Good morning, Dr. Merlina. So I'm Leslie Cabuenas. So I was a teacher in the Philippines for 11 years. I am teaching 3rd graders in the Philippines. So actually, this is not really, this is not my dream to be in America. I mean, my younger sister, Girly, you know Girly, right? She was the one who was like pushing me to come in here because it was supposed to be her. But then she got pregnant with her first baby. So she was like, Ate, why don't you pursue my dream? And I'm like, oh no, I don't, I'm not gonna go to America. I only have 1 child. So I can live, you know, I'll be fine here in the Philippines. But then she said, you know what, it's not about money, it's about experience. That's what she told me. And I'm like, I don't know. And she was like, you know, you can visit all of the states in America and you don't have to, do this and that. And that's going to be so easy for you. Can you do that for me? But I'm like, I'll try. So I started last January. I and my aunt is in here. Ate Abby by the way, Ma'am, Ate Abby cannot really join. She's preparing for the church today. So she's going to First City. So I did start applying last year, January, and then Maria, she has, Maria, one of the one of the first person who came in here.
Mhm.
She sent something to her aunt, who is my colleague. So, and then her aunt shared it to us. And then that's the time that I met you. I met Dr. Merlina McCullough and we had a Zoom meeting. So that inspired me to, continue pursuing that. And then so we started having Zoom meetings like that was every Friday, not
It was
Saturday.
then, yes.
Yeah,
Back then,
it was
yes.
every Friday, and we would always start at 9, I think, and we would end up at 12 midnight.
Yeah, I said 2 hours, but it always ended up to be 3.
Yeah, it would always end like 3 to 4 hours, and then so it all started from there, and then we got inspired. So and then we sent all of our documents to you, and then you shared it to all of the schools in Arkansas, and then we got invitation for an interview. I got 2 from Lee County and Barton. So I had an interview with Barton. So I did not expect, but prior to the interview, I was like, I don't know what to say. We don't know what are the questions. Like, it's gonna be so difficult for me. I was like telling that myself. And then we emailed you, and we did not expect any response from you, because that was like 1 o'clock in here. One like, I mean, and then you responded and you said, you wanna do a practice interview right now? And they were like, really? And then so
That
we
was good.
practiced with you. And then the same thing with what you did a while ago. You gave us comments, but you have a way with words. Like, even if it's because we were like saying things that are not really appropriate, because you were like, oh, if you could like say this instead of saying that, because your employers might think this way and that. And you were like, oh, and we were like taking down notes of everything that you have told us. And then after my interview, I got a job offer immediately. My first, I was like, oh my God, I did not expect it,
good.
because I have read so much, stories about teachers who are applying in America, where they get to have like 10 interviews or 5 interviews before they got the job offer. But after my first interview, I got my first job offer. And then I was like, should I, I don't know. I was interviewed with Barton, and then I was interviewed with Lee County. So I did not expect that I would be hired. I just joined the interview, and then I got the job offer from Barton this day, and the next day I got a job offer from Lee
It's a
County.
good
And I'm like,
problem.
and then I emailed you, ma'am, I passed the interview with both of the schools that were interviewing me. What should I do? What should I choose? And I'm like, you were like, that's gonna be your problem.
I
But
said,
yeah.
I said
But I
to
want to tell
research the school.
everybody, I want to tell everybody, it was not really all about me. I mean, the first thing when Dr. Merlina talked to me, I told her that that my problem really is language barrier, because I was not really that good. I mean,
She is
I've
too.
been
She's just
teaching-
humble.
No, I've been teaching 3rd graders in the Philippines for 11 years, and for like almost 8 years, we had a K to 12. So our medium of instruction is Bisaya, good.
Mhm.
But then you said, no, you're fine, you can do it. I'm like, we didn't know the strengths that we have when we have not talked to you. We did not know our weaknesses, and when we got to talk to you, we get to know what are the things that we need to improve. We get to know what are the things that we have already, that we don't have to worry. So
Mhm.
I think that boosted our confidence during the interview. So, and then you told us, do not talk about yourself a lot, because that's your employers will not really be happy about listening to what have you done. I mean, talking about I. You should talk about your experiences with your kids. How do you
Students.
deal with them, your students? And then so we did that. I mean, I have given generic responses like I am passionate about teaching, but I provided some examples of what I have been doing in my class in order for me to create positive learning environment in my classroom. So I think that's how I really do it. And
Specific is terrific, right?
yeah, and Dr. Merlina doesn't like to, she's very humble. That's why all of her teachers support, all of the teachers here, international teacher supports are really humble because we got it from her.
Oh, yeah, right.
Really got it from her. Like if you get to meet her, I mean, prior to coming to the US, I was like thinking that she would be, she would be strict in person. She would be something because I'm really afraid of you. You know that, right? I told her
Are you
about it, and I'm
serious?
like, yeah, and I was really afraid.
She'd
But
come
when
to my
I
house a
got
million times.
but when I got to meet you the first time, when you came into the Avalon place, I was jumping because the first time I met you, I was like, I had a connection with you already. Like, this is the person that I want to be with, like here in
Oh,
America.
same here,
So
same here.
yeah, so that's why I mean, Dr. Marlena, taught us humility, because humility will really take you a long way. Like, just be
Yeah.
humble during your interview. Be humble, um, because they will get to know that. I mean, your employers will really get to read you.
Yeah.
I think they're doing that.
Yep. That's called
So
a
just
servant
be,
leadership style, like Jesus is.
yeah, be
Mm.
humble and provide concrete examples of what you have been doing in the Philippines. I mean, there are a lot. I mean, I've told them about my, home visitations, because we would always do that in the Philippines. I was telling them that I crossed rivers because that's what exactly we were doing in the Philippines. We trek mountains because that's where my kids are. Like, those kids who are like doesn't come to school most of the time. And then I told them about my, mini library inside my classroom, because Philippines, we don't have libraries in the classroom. I mean, the school. So I have mini libraries in my classroom, and kids would go there and, get to read books. And then those books are from donations. I would like ask people to donate some books in my classroom. And I told them about that. I've told them about our gulayan program, where we get to plant vegetables in our surroundings so we can get, food from it. So I told them about that. And I think that those are the things that impress them. So
Yeah.
just be genuine. And if you can't really make it, then just fake it.
Yep. That's my word. She borrows my words all the time. Just fake it until you make it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And those are cultural things that she's sharing, because those are things that are not happening in America, but that
Yes,
are
ma'am.
happening in the Philippines, and they're very excited to hear about those. So listen to Leslie. She's very kind. She's got the most kind words for me, but I give it back to her, because she's also one of the kindest people I know. And I always like biased to Leslie and Abby and Maria,
And
because
Maria.
they really make me proud. Like, I felt like I'm their mother or an aunt, that this school administrators, I have lunch with them whenever I come visit, not her school, but the other schools. And then I always talk about what I observe, what are the things that have grown, that have really changed, that have really, I'm so proud of, I'm always saying that. And then they said, oh, we're so proud of her. I just wanted to clone her and put her in every classroom. Those are the best compliments that you could hear from a mentor's perspective. Here I am mentoring you, and I hear this from your administrator. That is music to my
Yeah.
ears. Yeah.
But I was not like this when I first came in here. So you have to have, according to Dr. McCullough, you have to have a growth mindset. So the first time she visited my class, I have a lot of things. I listed it down, the things that you were telling me. Dai, can you like have this and that? And I did everything that was on the list. And the next time you came into my class, you were like, what should I put in here?
I don't have any negative thing I want to tell you to improve. You've done all of it.
Yeah, because in order for you to succeed in here, you have to really listen and to accept, things. There will be changes. I mean, big changes. This is not like the Philippines. I mean, it's really different. I mean, the cultural thing is really different. So I mean, Dr. McCullough was really helpful because you are from the Philippines, and you've been living in here for 36 years, and you are the person. I was telling that to my administrator. She was like meeting both of the cultures halfway. So that's why I was able to do this, because I was crying the first time when you were not there. I was like, oh, what should I do? I don't know what to do. But when you came in my classroom, and then now it's just so easy for me. I would cover classes and I know what to do because you've been telling me. I mean, you've been helping me. I mean, I have strategies, but I wasn't able to use it because I am thinking, that I have been boxed. And then you was like, no, you have to show it. You have to do this. This is not, I mean, you are not in the Philippines, but you can still do that. You can still do this. So I used my clubs, different type of clubs. And then, so
yeah. She's a natural
I'm
though.
just
She's very humble because she's saying that, but no, she's a natural. Talking about knowledge of students, talking about getting to know the students. Oh, how are you? How's your chickens? How are your fish? All these things about her pets. Getting to know students in that level, that's really a gift. And Leslie is a natural at it. Like I wish I could videotape her and show it to the others, because that's something that it comes from her heart. She really cares for her students. She knows her students, and she knows which, what makes them tick. Like one of the kids that had this truck obsession, and she would use that, and things like that. So, and we're always sharing about ideas like that. And I like it. And I think, was it New Year's? I guess New Year vacation, after Christmas and New Year, I invited them over, and we spent our New Year's Eve together and played cards and so on. And she's one of those that went to Texas with me, and we just got back. So we're tired.
Yeah, we just got back from Texas, and I'm telling you, when I first came in here, well, I would be hypocrite if I say that it's not about money. Of course it is about money, but then on top of that, really, this is coming from my heart. On top of that, really, is the new learning experiences for me. I mean, I've realized that when I first came in here, when I first went into Salem, I was like the second day in here, and then you were like asking us, would you like to go to Salem with me? And you were like, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So we went to Salem for 4 hours, and I told myself, so this is not really about money. This is about learning different cultures. You would get to understand that when you will be coming in here, when you are in here already, you will be able to understand that this is not just about money. This is not just about, greener pasture, everything like that. This is about experience. It's learning experience. When you go back to our country, it's not going to be the same thing.
Yeah.
Because you have learned a lot of things in here.
And so
we went to Texas.
Yeah. Go ahead and tell them about Texas, what you learned.
Oh, I've learned a lot. We went to different places in Texas. This trip would not be possible without Dr. McCullough. I mean, when you come in here, if you are new, she will make sure that you will enjoy your first few weeks in here. I was with Dina. I think Dina is in here too.
Dina is here? Yeah.
Yeah, Dina is in here. April is in here.
Hello,
so
good. I'll talk to them. Yeah. So you learned some things in Texas because they went by themselves some too, without me. Because I was visiting with my sister and we were doing spa day and all that one day.
Well,
yeah.
All thanks to Dina, because she was our itinerary person. She was like, ma'am, this is a place we can come in here. This is for free. We don't have to pay for anything. And she was the one doing that. Thank you, Dina.
Learning things, yeah.
And the best, April and Dina were the best, camera person. They're good in getting, photographs of everybody.
Yeah, and I posted all these pictures at the ITSA site on Facebook. So if you want to see our pictures, it's in there. Yeah.
Yeah, but Dina and April can share about what they have, they can share what they have experienced in Texas.
Yeah, before we talk to Dina and April, I want to tell, Leslie also brought her husband and child here. Ixora. How many months did it take you before you brought them here, Leslie?
After 2 months, I started processing already. I started processing further coming in here already. So I applied, I emailed already my visa sponsor and they allow, but it depends actually on your visa sponsor. Some visa sponsors would allow you after 6 months, but with Global Educational Concepts, they allowed me to come in, my kid and my husband to come in here after 3 months. So I started processing after 2 months, and then after 3 months, they were able to come in here.
Yeah, so it was pretty quick, and they call them J2 visa
J2
for the family. And then Abby was different. She actually already applied with her husband, already part of it.
Yeah,
so the husband went through the interviews. That's also another thing if you can afford to do it, because Abby was able to financially. Yeah, but most people want to save some first.
I know.
Yeah.
Did I say something?
She's here now.
There's Abby. Abby, what's the difference between what you did and what Leslie did on having the husband later?
Actually, I applied together his paper together with mine. I didn't pay anything for his paper.
Okay.
I didn't pay anything for mine except for the appointment for the embassy and the service, which is $360 for me and $160 for him. And because his payment for like the visa sponsorship is only $250 a year dollars, and I only got to pay it when he got here, like after 2 months when he got here. So it's not that much. It's not that much that I paid for his papers.
But you have to pay
So-
for the fare, right? We have to pay for the airplane fare.
Yes, ma'am. And the airplane fare, I got it from, I got like advance payment from our school. The one I told you about
Yeah.
before, I
Yeah,
got it.
they were teaching a month ahead than others. So she had payment already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They were online teaching them. Yeah.
Yeah, because we started July 25th. And so we have to do online teaching. And when we got here, so we got a payment already.
That helps, right? That
Yes,
helps. Now her
ma'am.
husband is here, but she left 4 kids down there in the Philippines. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do.
yeah. But Abby, you enjoyed your trip to Texas, right?
Yes, I did. I definitely did. Like, how I wish I could go back again
Yeah, we
someday.
will.
Oh, when we went to Jollibee in Dallas, we met a Filipino from Cebu.
Are you serious?
Minglanilia Cebu. She's been in Dallas for like 19 years already, and she's like a line producer. Like, there are Filipino artists, singers who do concert here in Dallas, there in Dallas, and she said, in July, some Filipino singers like KZ Tandingan, Yang Constantino, and who's the other? I forgot. Maybe Kyla. She said it would be on the 21st of July. If you would come, I would help you get in. Like,
Well, did you get her
I would help
address?
you.
Or did you get her information, contact info?
I think Leslie added her on Facebook,
Yeah,
or she
added
added
me on-
Leslie on Facebook.
Good.
She
Make sure we
added
do
me
that.
on
because-
Facebook.
Yeah, I would love to go because I do not know the new artist. I know Vilma
Yeah.
Nor.
So that will be on the 21st of July.
That would be cool. That would be a cool trip for us. Yeah.
Yeah. Though I would be our lesson would start, our classes would start that because our class would start on the 17th of July next school year,
Oh,
but
you
I would
could-
still come.
You might not be able to come. Yeah.
I
But
would
you get-
still come.
You can get away with it. Yeah, but thankfully her husband and Alvin and Junar, Leslie's husband, were the two that drove us. I mean, it was like a 10-hour drive and they took turns doing it. I was so happy because I only got to drive home until we dropped them off at their place, and then I had to drive the 4 hours to my home. So that was I was very grateful. I told my husband I came home, like, I don't know what I would have done without Junar and Alvin. I think I would have driven, but I would have been so tired. But anyway, well, thank you again so much for the two of you sharing. Where's April and Dina? April
Mom,
and
permission
Dina.
to leave. I have to go to church.
Bye. Have a good church day. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. April and Dina, are you here? What? They should be in the same house, so they could be next
Yes,
to
Doc.
each other. Okay, where are you?
Actually, I'm
Are you outside?
downstairs
You're
because
downstairs,
I was eating
okay.
my breakfast
Hello,
and
ma'am.
that's it.
Hello, Miss April and Miss Dana.
Hello.
You don't have your camera on, Miss April?
I have now. Yes, I'm here.
Yes, tell us about how did you recover from our trip?
Actually, Doc, when we arrived, I actually took the other day for rest. And we were not done yet with our laundry. We will still, because it's a lot, because it was a long trip for a few
Yeah.
days, but we really enjoyed it.
Well,
And
that's good.
I
But
just trusted.
my sister offered to have you use her laundry room, her washing machine, and you did not do it. You should have.
It's okay, Doc. It's okay, Doc.
Yeah,
But we will do it today.
good. Okay, so it's laundry day today. I did that when I
Yeah.
first come here, and then at night I got all my done. You know how I brought about 6 blankets, big blankets. I washed them all. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's good. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. You may want to check on Johnson, who just arrived. Check on her. Yeah. Yeah. Check on her, see how she's doing. She's arriving with
Actually,
yeah.
Actually, we added her in our group chat for those Filipinos who arrive already in Arkansas, especially for those Filipinos who are based in Central High School.
Okay, you have a
So we
chat. That's
added
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she needs, I'm sure that right now she would like to have a communication with you guys because she would like to know about the school. So are you planning, any
For
of you
sure.
planning to visit her this weekend? If I was there, I would be visiting her.
We haven't talked that one yet.
Yeah. If you have a ride, I don't know if somebody, Jing drives now, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Jing, yeah.
Yes.
Have Jing to take you maybe, or not, whatever. Just a suggestion.
Yes, ma'am. We'll ask her.
Okay, that would make her happy, I think. I was really wanting to see her, but it was so late, about close to 11.
But actually, ma'am, I messaged her yesterday, and she told me that she's in the social security in Forest City to apply for her kids.
Okay, who took her? Who took her there?
I think her friends, ma'am, in Forest City.
Okay, well, that's good that they're taking care
Yeah,
of her.
I texted her yesterday.
Yeah, that's the first thing you need to do is get your social
Yes,
security
ma'am.
number. Yeah. You got yours already, April? You got
Yes,
yours?
ma'am. Mine was arrived yesterday, so I'm just so
cool.
happy.
Very good. Now, what's
And
your
we
next
also
step?
have our number already, ma'am.
Your what number?
We also have the SIM card already, me and Dina. So
Nice.
yes, we'll forward it to you, Doc, later.
Okay, that
our
would be good. I would
numbers.
love that. Yeah. And also the next thing would be to get your state ID. You don't have to
Yes,
be a driver.
ma'am.
State your ID, and then after that you can get your credit card
Yes, ma'am.
on bank
I'll
account.
do it this week. Yes.
Yeah, bank account and credit card. Yeah, those are the thing that Layla's over here nodding because she's going through that too. Did you hear about Layla saying that she spent $300 on a taxi to do all that? See,
Yes,
that's the thing here.
ma'am.
Yeah, that's the thing here, Layla. We have the support of everybody. You know, they are now getting their driver's license. They're now buying their vehicles. So now they're just like helping each other. Who wants to go where, to go to the store, right? You're always just helping each other. Yeah, and not just in the same house. They're helping somebody else that lives in another house because there's several houses here that have Filipino teachers. And so they would have an event, somebody's birthday, everybody will get together, but it's like fiesta, right? In their place, it's like fiesta all the time. They're cooking a lot. They're so sweet. When I go down there every week, they would say, "Hey, do you want to have supper with us?" Or "We're cooking soup." I love soup. And so anyway, so I've eaten a few times there at their place. Of course, I feel bad about doing that, and it ruins their budget. So I always bring a bunch of meat or something with to replace their budget. So yeah, but they have fed me a lot. Good cooks, all of them, good cooks. So how are you doing your cooking right now? Are you like taking turns, or is Jing's husband always cooking? Or he works now, right? So are you taking turns?
Yes, ma'am. We take turns.
Take turns. Do you have a
Division
list
of
of chores?
labor.
Huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
We are doing experiments, Doc.
What experiment are you doing? On the food?
Yes, ma'am. On the
Yeah.
food.
Oh,
we
was it
tried.
good? Did it
We
turn
tried
out
our
good?
best. I don't know to them, ma'am. Sir Mike, would you like to say something about my
Mike, how's the
experiment?
experiment? Mike,
Yes,
how's the
Doc.
experiment?
If I am the one who is in charge for cooking, I always cook adobo, and that's all.
That's your expertise is adobo. Okay, what's April and
And
Dina's?
also pacham.
What's
Pacham po.
pacham?
Pachamba-chamba ng luto.
That's a good one, Mike. You'll be happy when your wife gets here. Are you processing your wife's paperwork already?
Yes po, Doc. They will be having their embassy
Interview?
interview this coming April 11.
Oh, that's so cool, Mike. I'm so
Yes.
excited. His wife is also a teacher. So we'll try to get her a job. I'm already talking to the principal about it in the elementary, that I said, we need to hire the spouses of our teachers first. He said, yeah, I agree. And I said, yeah, because we need to support them. And so they agree with me. So that your spouses should get a job soon, hopefully. So anyway,
Yes
so
po.
to the others who are here, do you have any questions? I have all them as a support, as people that would answer your questions. I don't have all the answers, but they may be able to do it from their perspective. Like, are there some concerns that you have about coming to the US? I want to tell you that most of them really, except for Mike, because his job is easy right now, really cried or really was upset the first week because it's such a shock. It's a culture shock. You know, it's not the same as you're experiencing in the Philippines or wherever it is, what country you're in, because the kids are so different. American children are so independent and they're so vocal that they will just like, in our culture, it'd be like talking back. But in their culture, it's like, I'm asking you questions. It's okay. You ask your question. This is America, kind of type thing. But some of them really have an attitude too. And they're trying to test boundaries. They're going to try to see, are you strict enough? Or do you know what you're doing? So that's what I'm saying. Leslie said, fake it till you can make it.
Yeah.
Because, because when I was going to school here as a student and, to be a teacher, I was so concerned because I was only 4'10", very short. And I'm like, oh my goodness, these kids are going to be so tall, and so what am I going to do? But no, it's just your voice and the way you carry yourself and the confidence that you have. I may not know what I'm doing, but I'm going to act like I do. It worked for me. I never had any behavior problem in my classroom. And I actually taught the other teachers on how to do discipline. I actually do training on the professional development on how to do discipline because, the trick is to know your students. Knowledge of students and knowledge of content. Those are the two that you really need to have. You know what you're doing. You know what you're teaching. Now get to know your kids. What make them tick? What do they like? What are the things that they don't like? Right? Because if you know that, then you can use it as part of your curriculum decisions. I'm going to do this because so-and-so like this, or I'm not going to do this because so-and-so hate this, so those are the things that you need to know. And the other thing is to be partners with your parents. Yeah. First thing I do first week of school is call all the parents to brag about their kids and what I know about the kids. Because remember that first week is supposed to be the honeymoon stage, right? They still try to be nice or whatever, the really stinkers. The ones that like to misbehave are not showing it yet very much, so it's still the emotional deposit that you're going to do with the parents. You call them and say, oh, I'm so proud to be your science teacher, your child's science teacher, because I love that he knows, I would say something about your child and your child is so helpful to me. Today I would say examples like that and the parents just love it. And I'm not making it up. I'm just saying things that I experienced with their child. And so now the parents have direct contact with me and I save their cell phone number or whatever. They're just a text away after that. I would know grandparents that are watching, like when I taught in Little Rock for a few months, I was while waiting for my job there. Though that's really one of the roughest schools. And I got to know 150 parents and guardians. Most of them were single mom and with grandma. And so I got to whoever it is that is watching the child. I have their number. And so it's so easy for me to just like, hey, so-and-so, come on, let's go outside real quick. We need to have a conversation with grandma. Yeah. And so that really, all you have to do is say, like symbol of a phone. You want me to call the phone now? And so things like that, because you know your kids, before you do an emotional withdrawal, when you tell them about the kid is misbehaving, you already have a lot of deposits there. Emotional deposits, things that you're bragging about the child. And that's why I always ask, did you call the parents about positive things? You should never just call the parents about, oh, your child is misbehaving, your child is asleep today, your child is, you should not just call about that. You need to talk about, somebody, your child is so helpful today, so-and-so was having problems and your child went in there and help him or her. And I'm so proud of that. I just want to share that with you. Things like that, little things like that. Sometimes I would just text a liner. I will liner, they love it. It makes their day because I have received texts like that and it made my day. My child's teacher would be taking a picture of Jet presenting, child Jet is presenting. That just made my day. A science teacher. And I said to Jet at the end of the day, I said, Jet, good job on your science presentation. And he said, Mom, how do you know that? I said, well, your teacher was videotaping it, sent it to me. That's the advantage of being an administrator, I guess. They were wanting to share that. But yeah. And Leslie also, I want to brag on her daughter, Ixora. Well, tell them about that, yeah. Leslie, because I think that's a really cool news.
Yeah, I mean, they have this test called NWEA in here. It's like in the Philippines, it is like National Achievement Test, I guess. So it's the same thing as that one. It's a standardized test. And then my daughter, she's a fourth grader. So I was like telling her, please do good on your NWEA because last year I was like administering the test to my high school kids. I did not know that it was like, it was something big. It's like a big deal in here. So, and then I got to know that it's really like one of the bases for them to identify what are the, what are the levels of each, kids in here. I'm like, okay, so you have to do good in that one. And then, well, I was like asking her, how did you do with your NWEA? And she was like, I think it was difficult, but I was like, I was able to finish it. So that's what she told me. And there was like a parent teacher conference last 17th of March, and her teacher, upon talking to me, she was like, I'm smiling, and I'm like, what, has Ixora done something wrong? And then she was like, come here. But I was like, going that way. She was like, I have something to tell you. Did you know that Ixora, among all the fourth graders, she scored the most for the language subject? And I'm like, language area, she has the 99th percentile. I mean, she's the top one among all the fourth graders in the language thing.
Yeah.
And she was like, the teacher was like telling me, isn't it ironic? She's not from in here and she topped the literacy thing. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And she was like, you have to give her something. You have to reward her for this one. I'm like, yeah, I will. But I was really shocked.
Give her an iPad, yeah. Yeah, but
Yeah.
that goes back to you, Leslie, because I know that you've always spoken English with her. I mean,
Yeah, I did.
when I first met her, she was speaking English well. So she was doing that home. So that goes back to you and Junar, I think, right?
Junior was laughing beside me.
Junar, good job, Junar. Yeah. Good
But,
job on the teaching of Ixora and of driving.
yeah, of driving. But yeah, thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah,
Thank you.
for joining in. You always add so much to our Zoom. Any questions from anyone to Leslie? Because Leslie has really really embraced America. One of those very positive people she always sees the positive of everything. And that is something that you should emulate, should follow, because if you have that negative filter, like a Marites or Karen, if you are that kind of person, don't even think about coming. Because you're going to have issues. You're going to have issues with students, parents, your administrators. So you don't be a Karen or a Marites. Okay, here it's called a negative Nancy.
Yeah. Well,
Don't
I
be a
have
negative
something to
Nancy.
share, ma'am.
Huh?
I mean, well, I have something to share. When I was like applying in here, I was told that I will be teaching 6th grader math. And then when I came in here, they then told me that I'm not going to be teaching math 6th grade anymore. I will be teaching math 7 and 8th grade, middle school. And I'm like, I'm not really a math teacher. I don't know anything about, I mean, I have the basic concepts of math, but I'm not really a math teacher in the Philippines. I was an elementary teacher for like 11 years. I was teaching 1st grader, 3rd grader. So I don't know about math when it comes to high school. But then, there was Dr. Merlina who's like saying, you can do it, Dai. You know that you can do it. I know that you can do it. Just fake it till you make it. So, well, I was able to do it then. I did not realize that I am still teaching math until now. I mean, I am teaching 9, 10, 11, 12 graders. I am teaching geometry. Next year, if I'm still going to be in high school, I'll be teaching trigonometry. So I did not know that I was able to fake it. And then now I am able to make it.
Yeah, you can do it. You can do it. You just have to study ahead of the students.
Yeah.
I remembered studying at least 1 week ahead of my students. I just
That's
know
how I
1
do
week
it,
ahead.
ma'am.
That's all. You
That's
might
how
have
I
to
do
do that
it.
your first year.
Yeah, and then I'm just like Dr. Merlina too. I'm just like 4'11". I'm very short. That was my worry before. But then she told me during our Zoom meetings, she was like, you don't have to worry about it, Dai. I'm just we have the same height, I guess. So you don't have to worry about it. So yeah, when I first came in, Doc, I was like, oh my God, my kids were like 6'1", 6'2", 5'9". I'm like, oh my God, but how should I, but
yeah,
you will be able to do it. You will be
you
able
can do
to
it.
make
Yeah.
it. I mean,
Yeah.
But as long as I have you.
Well, no, I think some of the students are almost like, what's the weather up there? They're so tall.
They
But
are
don't
so
ever,
tall,
you know what
right?
I'm allergic to when they start putting their hands over like you are so short. For some reason, that's really bug me. So I always tell my students, don't ever do that to me, because then you make me feel like even shorter than I am. And to me, it's rude.
Yeah. But they
yeah.
don't do that in
But
my
I
class.
think
But yeah,
it's
thank
not,
you,
I'm
ma'am.
telling you, It's not the height, but dynamites come in small packages. And that's what Leslie is. That's what it is. All right, let's move on. And I guess April and thank you again, Les. Appreciate you, girl.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, let me get a screenshot with you. I'm gonna put this on Facebook. Okay. All right. So who else needs to introduce themselves? I have talked to Joanne and Clamor. Now Maria Rosella Jalen. Do you want to talk to us? I got your paperwork.
Yeah, hi, Doc.
Yeah,
Good,
hello. Oh, I've talked to
morning
you
there.
before. I've talked to you before,
Yes,
right?
yes, I was here last.
Welcome back.
Yeah, it was last week. I was not able to attend though,
Yeah.
because I have to attend something last week.
Okay. Well, since you attended Zoom with us, are there some things that you learned that you want to share with the new ones? We have a lot of new ones today. We have more than 20 new ones.
Yeah, hi everyone. Hello. I'm actually with Doc with how many meetings already, but just want to share, Doc, that I'm already in GC. It's the same with Miss Desley.
Good.
The GC already. I just got in placement stage already.
Okay.
I just submitted all my papers.
Okay.
So I am just waiting, hoping to have a school for me. So it's only the school that I am waiting for. Hopefully.
Okay.
Hopefully
Well, continue
there
to
is.
look at www.schoolspring.com. Continue. Okay.
Yes,
Continue to do that.
I tried applying in Jacksonville,
Arkansas or Florida?
Arkansas.
Oh, that
Yeah,
would be
they
good. That's
emailed-
close to the
they-
military base here.
Oh, they emailed my the reference already, and I don't know what's the feedback. It's
Okay.
no reply yet of what happened to my
That's a very big
application.
school. That's a very big school. It's near Little Rock. It's near the big city. I used to know the superintendent, but I think they changed. But that's a really big school. So that's a good school. Yeah. Most of your students might be kids of the military, if you're in that area. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I hope so. But it doesn't have the reply yet. But I am opening I still continue to apply.
yeah.
That's the first
Well,
thing I know.
did you thank them? Make sure that when they introduce themselves, I want you to write down their names, and then you need to make sure that whoever's your contact person, you send them a thank you. Send them a thank you note saying, I appreciate your time. I know you're busy. Thank you for your time to interview me. I really enjoyed my experience of visiting with you, all that. I look forward to hearing back from you. Make sure you always do that after any interview, even if you think that I might not get a job, but anytime somebody would email me after an interview, I always get impressed. I'm like, oh, this person is good. This person is very thoughtful, and you want to come out to be that. Always thank them.
Also,
okay?
there's a reply if I will be accepted if I will be called for an interview, because they already sent email to my references, but I am not sure.
That's a good sign. That's a good sign. If they what happened is they have this survey. They call them a survey for your people that you put in as your references. They send them a little survey about you. They have to rate you 1 to 10. I always rate the best to 10. Everything is always perfect right there, because I do not want you to be against somebody and you are, and my rating is the only thing that make you not get it. So I'm gonna put it on the best, everything to the very top. And then so anyway, but if I know you, like if you put me as a reference, then I would go back to the Zoom and I would say, I would be able to say specific things rather than just.
But I think next application you are included.
I don't mind. I would just go back to the Zoom and say, okay, which one was this? But those regular ones I would know. So yeah, become a regular, Maria. All right, thank you so much. Hey, good luck. I hope if you hear something though, let me know. Okay, I would love to know.
Yes, I will.
Yeah,
I will message. I will email
Congrats,
you.
Ma'am Sheila. Congrats.
Yeah, I know, right?
Sir Mike for helping me. Sir Mike is
Yes
my
po.
friend.
he texted me, said, hey, she already had her GSC placement and so on. I'm like, well, I will keep her in mind. That's what I said to Mike. So yeah, I will keep you in mind.
He always follow up me what happened in my application, what's the update. He always asks.
That's always good to know that and share. I did not even know that, like I gave the www.schoolspring.com info, and then people from our Zoom had applied and got jobs, and I didn't even know they got jobs until lately. They said, oh, I got a job in Florida. I got a job in whatever. And I'm like, it would be nice to get a text from you if you get hired. That would be nice for us to know that, hey, somebody else becomes successful. You know, it's inspiring to me for the rest of the members to know that somebody got a job in another state. But a bunch in the Arkansas one, I would know. But the other states, they don't tell you until, you know, they've been here 5 months, you know. Don't be that. Let us know, because we want to share the good info with everybody. Right? So
Yes,
Sheila
yes,
included.
yes.
Huh?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It's
You're
always
welcome.
lovely. I'm not that shared anything yet, but I am always thankful for those who shared here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get a lot, actually.
Yeah, you learn a lot from them. That's right. That's why
Yes,
I
I
like
learned a lot
sharing.
from them.
Yeah. Thank you so much. You're always so
Thank
positive.
you
So
so
yeah,
much.
continue that and show that in your interview. That, you know, I think Filipinos, we are known to be hospitable and very happy people, regardless on how poor we are or whatever we are. We might be sad about something, but we're always looking positive. And that is something that they're going to expect. So if you see somebody just like, you know, in a bad mood, don't be that. You know, try to think of the positive side, like, hey, America, I'm coming, you know. All right, thanks for coming back. Annalyn, you want to talk to us? I want to see, sometime I could tell that you've been here before. I haven't. Annalyn, if you show up here, if you talk, have I seen you
Hello.
before? Have we met before, Annalyn?
This is my first time to
First
join
time,
the
yeah.
Zoom, ma'am.
Okay, a lot of times the
Hi,
background
ma'am.
is the one that helps me. Yeah, tell us about yourself real quick.
Okay, hello, ma'am. Good morning there. I'm Annalyn. I'm teaching for 15 years here in public schools. Here in Philippines, I am currently teaching grade 5 and grade 6, teaching science and math subjects. What I do in my classroom, I'm teaching my math subjects. Most of the time, I am modeling, and then I have these small groups for them to have small groups for my students, and then because it is best for me, the learning by doing. And then I also use differentiated instruction to my diverse learners, because everyone is unique. So I think this is very important to know the individual differences of my learners. I make my classroom, I create positive learning in my classroom by imposing positive discipline in my everyday teaching.
Okay.
I think that would be all.
Okay.
For this time.
Make sure you include like why you want to come to the US. Instead of just going to my classroom, you might want to start with my teaching philosophy is this. You know, I believe in hands-on, I believe in, you know, so you want to to your teaching philosophy instead of like out there, you know, no topic sentence. So make sure that you do this is what I believe. As a teacher, I believe strongly that. You can say that.
Yeah, I know.
Okay? Yeah,
Noted,
that way,
Mom.
yeah,
Thank you.
It would connect to your belief that way. And you might not want to say imposing positive discipline, because that sounds like, okay, I'm being kind of a mini teacher. I don't know. And like you want to say, I believe in a positive classroom environment, or learning environment.
Okay.
Yeah, and I believe that, you know, like, for example, if you're going to talk about discipline, I always believe in discipline with dignity. That means you're going to respect the students. You're not going to embarrass them in front of their peers. You're going to call them outside and talk to them privately. You're not just going to scold them in front of everybody. You know, those are discipline with dignity would be a word you might want to use instead of imposing positive discipline outside. Okay. Because the word, the picture in my mind was like, here's this mini teacher with a, you know, you're gonna, okay, I'm gonna be, you know, be positive about it, but I have this whip in my hand. You know, it's like not a good visual.
Okay, noted.
Yeah,
Thank
just
you so much.
Just a small comment, but I think overall you seem very happy, and you know, and and want to come, you know. So
Yes, ma'am, I
another
want to
advice that I would like to give you is if you have an interview scheduled by a school, the first thing you should do is go find that school in their website and read about it. Read about their vision, their mission. If you can memorize their vision or mission, whatever the shorter one is, and squeeze it in and put it with your interview question, that's impressive. That you have actually and look at there's some board required things that had to be there. Look at their like the board minutes. These are the meetings every month that they have to look about the school. You can tell a lot about the school, about what they meant about in the school board. The school board is like the boss of the superintendent, and they meet every month, and those are all public information. So it goes there. You can also look at the classroom handbook, the student handbook, the teacher handbook, all those things. So that when you're being asked that question, you can relate it to what their school policy is.
It's looking,
yes. Because every school is going to have their own policy. So for example, like a technology plan would be like, how do you deal with students and cell phones? Some schools want their student to have their cell phone, just turn it off. A bunch of schools want it in their locker, you know, and not be brought to the classroom. You know, so it's important for you to know those things in their website. That way, you know that if you're being asked that kind of question, you say, well, according to your handbook, it's not allowed for students to, So that means they know you studied it. You studied it. And another thing that you want to do is you have to study the community. So for example, I live in Salem. So if a Salem school interviewed you, you need to look at the Salem website and you look at the Salem, Arkansas Chamber of Commerce, which is the business, what's going on in our town. That way, you know, but the pictures, you can tell what kind of students they have. You know, there's a lot of pictures there. So if you see a lot of African-American children, that means most of that school might be mostly African-American children. If you see a mix, because a lot of times we do a representation of what our student population is. So you want to know, you want to see that, you want to observe those things. Okay. So whenever you have that knowledge in your head. Okay. All right. So thank you again for coming in. I hope we see you again. Okay. So who's next? Marilu de Los Santos. Marilu, have I seen you before? I'm trying to see if I have seen you before. Are you new?
Hi, Doc.
Yeah. Thanks again, Annalyn. Okay, yeah, Marilu, tell us about you.
I think this is my third time to attend.
That's what I'm saying. I remembered your eyebrows.
Actually, you were doing thank you, Doc. You were doing the Zoom meeting before every Fridays, but
yes,
as I have tutors after school.
Okay, you have a side job, huh?
Every Saturday, I have side
Did you ever get an interview? Did you ever apply in School Spring and get interviews?
Not yet, Doc. I'm trying. I applied already, but I think I had an email from an executive director in Minnesota.
Okay.
It says St. Paul Public Schools.
That's a big one.
Yeah, she said that actually she asked me if I need a sponsor for a work visa. And I think I wasn't able to answer her correctly because I said that time I need a visa sponsor.
Yeah.
I don't know if my answer is correct.
You should not say that because if you are saying that you need a visa sponsor, that means you're looking at H-1B. That means the school will sponsor. But if you are already signing up with somebody on that designated visa list, you already have a sponsor because J-1 visa needs another sponsor. And that's what they're asking you. So that's why it's important for you to hook up with one of those companies. That way you can say, yes, I do have one and that I just need a job offer. Okay, that's what you need. You need a job offer, and then that way you already have your visa sponsor, then you can get here. You need a job offer. Okay, so that's how you need to answer it. So yeah, but at least that's good. That means your resume and your cover letter was good for them to email you. And one thing I want to remind everyone, once you start this process, please check your email like every day. Because if you get an email, they might need an answer immediately because you might be like in the top 5 for interview and you don't answer, so you're out. So you need to make sure that if they contact you, they're serious about you. They really want to talk to you. Okay. So make sure you answer immediately as soon as you get it. Okay. And you have to remember you are 13 hours ahead of us. So it's now 10 o'clock in the morning and it's 11 o'clock there. So make sure you tell them that we are 13 hours ahead of you. You know, so the Philippines is 13
And
hours ahead. Yeah.
yeah po.
I know it's about time
Ma'am
now.
Marilu, yes po. Ma'am Marilu de los Santos is Ma'am Jing's friend.
Oh, okay, okay. So Marilo, yeah, thank you again. Yeah, Miss
Yes.
Jing is one of my favorite people there too, like Mike and the rest of that house there.
Yeah.
Yes, I always ask for information on how I will apply and all these things, of course, aside from your Zoom videos.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yes po. That one, Doc, I was able to answer the executive director wrongly. So she said that I won't be able to proceed with an interview with you because yeah, they don't sponsor teachers in that particular school.
Yeah, that's
So
what they meant is H1B. Most people do not. So you have to have a visa sponsor in that list, from that list, okay? Yeah, so your answer should be yes, I already have a visa sponsor because it's from that list. I just need a job offer, okay? All
Yes,
right, if
Doc.
you don't know how to answer something, email me. And I
Yeah.
usually, you know, I would be able to tell you. Just like I said, you know, for the social security number, you don't have one. So you just put 9 on everything. So 999-99-9999. So there's 9 numbers of 9s. Okay.
Yes,
So-
but that one, Doc, is actually not accepted in the website anymore.
They're not accepting that?
No, 666 and 999-000.
They don't
They're not
accept it at all. So
accepted.
they must have
So-
programmed it to not accept it. So I don't know. So that those schools that do that, that means that they really want locals. They do not
Is
want
it-
internationals.
Is it okay if we'll make up like we'll write any number or no?
I don't know. I would not recommend that because that could be called fraud. So
Yes.
I would not recommend that. I just
thinking
know that
also.
999s are temporary numbers that our IRS here, our Internal Revenue Service would use. If you don't have one yet, they would put that in. I just know that part, but I would not recommend making up something because that would not be good, I don't think. So anyway, all right, good question though. Okay, Harris, I've talked to you before. Thank you for coming back. You have something to say before I move on to the next person? Harris?
Okay, I just have one.
Yeah, go ahead, Marilu.
Yeah. Whenever I apply, Doc, on this different school districts, I usually see for the attachment, it says their teaching certificate. Of course, I believe it's not the teaching certificate that we have in the Philippines, like the professional license in the Philippines. Is I think it's Praxis, Doc, or
Okay,
the
you
other
can
one.
say I can take the practice when I get there. Yeah, when I get or I'm willing, you just say I'm willing to take the praxis if required. Yeah, just say I'm willing to take the praxis exam if required. But a lot of times the Department of Education will give you time for that. We'll give you a year or give you 2 years to finish it, because a lot of time you cannot finish, you might not be able to complete the first time. You might take more than one time to do it. And so I just say you're willing to take it if required. Just say that. Because it's online, so it also costs money. So in Arkansas, for example, you cannot take it. They won't ask you to take it until you get here. Yeah. So you said, just ask them, what is your policy in your district? Do I have to take it online now, or can I do it when I get there? I know in Arkansas, they do that, you can just use it as an example. I know in Arkansas, we don't have to have it. I mean, my friend is there and we don't have to do it until we get there. And in Arkansas, you cannot even get your licensure reciprocity until you get here. So most states are like that. You cannot get your reciprocity. Your teaching license from the Philippines, you could scan it or put it in a bond paper, and you put a note there saying that, this is my license in the Philippines. I know that I need to request for like reciprocity when I arrive there. And Philippines and the USA, have the reciprocity relationship. They can do it. They will do it. They will exchange the license. So you can just put a note like that this is my license in the Philippines, but I'm willing to jump all the hoops in order for me to get the the required one, and you are allowed time to do that. Okay. Yeah. So just say that. Okay. All right. So I was with who was I? Was it?
Yes, Doc.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Harris, do you have a question for us from any of the things that we have said?
No, Doc. It's been clear to me. And also, Doc, I bring my colleague here, Mr.
Wait,
Clamaria Lisa.
okay. Yeah. Well, thank you for doing that. That always helps. When we, it's so funny because sometimes you would bring a colleague here and then your colleague would get the job first. It happened a lot, but at least you know that your
Yes, Doc.
colleague is going to be there still to help you. Okay. That happened 2 or 3 times that
Yes,
I
Doc.
know. That's like, oh, I introduced so and so is already there and I'm still here. And I'm like, well, that person is going to be your biggest, your biggest fan that's going to be pushing for you. So,
Yes, Doc.
so don't feel bad. You should root for each other, right? It's not a competition.
Yes, Doc.
Yeah, it's a cooperation.
Doc.
Yeah.
And I'm on the process po, Doc, in applying. I guess I already submitted 5 applications,
Okay.
and I'm still praying and hoping that
Yeah.
I will have some reply.
Okay. You might want to look at your cover letter. A lot of times your cover letter is the one that they look at first. If you really want us to look at it, Layla, would you be willing to look at people's cover letter? I don't have the time, but if someone wants to look at cover letter, would you be willing to do that, or you have time?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you don't mind to put your email in the chat, and that way they can send it to you, because I think you're very good at commenting on what needs to be there.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
Yes. ma'am.
yeah, I hate to delegate, but I have to because I
Yeah,
don't
it's
have
okay, ma'am. It's
time.
okay.
I figured,
That
Layla,
would be a
you're alone.
great help.
This will give you some time to help. Yeah, do that. Layla would. What's your email?
Actually, I have 2 emails. My email in the Philippines, that is the dep@gov.ph, still working, and I have another email. So you should have at least 2 emails for in applying. So I think that 2 of my emails are still working, and I'm gonna give you that. Please try to email me.
Yeah. Go under chat and let me see if I could see it. Yeah, she would put it on the chat and see if you could email her and have her to see it. Make sure that it's, you cannot have a very long one. Try to do like, half to like 2/3 maybe. Don't make it long, because administrators don't have time to really look at really long letter. So try to make it short but very concise and clear. So 2 C's, clear and concise and clear. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for that, Layla. And who else? I got Maria. How about Lorlian Bonga? Have I talked to you before, Lorlian? I know I got your paperwork.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I
Yes.
was present last meeting.
Last time. Yeah, that's what I said.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So are you
Actually,
learning anything today? Did you learn anything from
yes.
Leslie? And
that's why I learned so much every time we had this Zoom. That's why I'm always excited and always wanted to participate, because I am trying to write things.
take notes.
Yeah,
I know
that
people always
everyone
have
is
lots of notes
sharing.
from this, which is good.
Yes.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
review that before you interview.
Actually, ma'am, I sent already my resume and my cover letter to your email.
Yes, I got
guess
it.
2 days ago.
Yes, I
thank
got
you.
it. Yes,
And
thank you.
actually, also, I just have my interview tonight. Yeah, from Virginia district.
Good.
And yes,
It's happening
it was the
tonight
career
that you have not done it yet?
It's done already. It's
Oh
done
my
already
goodness.
at 9.
What kind of questions did they ask
9:30.
you?
That's why I have my
Oh, I love that you have makeup on. Yes, I
My
would
makeup.
say to the ladies that do
I
have
have-
makeup on, you look more professional that way.
Yes.
Wear something that's like a church thing. Like I always notice that I always try to look professional on Zoom, but then on the bottom, don't look at that because I may be wearing shorts.
Same here, ma'am. I am
But
in my
look
shorts.
professional always, like you're going to
Yes,
church. And then
yes.
I love that your background is clear. Do not have a
Actually,
busy
it's clearer this time. It's white on this
have
side.
a clear background,
Okay.
because they get distracted.
That's my
And-
altar. So I just started.
Yeah, and wear something solid. Don't do anything busy, really busy clothes, because that really doesn't look good on the screen. So
Yes,
do
yes.
something solid. Something
Yeah, I
solid and then
actually
solid
have my
background.
coat, my black coat, and this
Very
red
good.
shirt.
Yeah. So do you
Yes.
feel okay about the interview? You feel like you did good? You did
Yeah, I think because they were satisfied. There were 3 of them who interviewed me. It was actually from the Virginia district. It was just a screening interview for the district.
Mhm.
So there were only 5 questions that were asked. It was introduce your professional background and how you become a teacher,
Mhm.
and also your classroom management. So I
Mhm.
learned a lot from you, Ma, on how to deal with these disruptive students.
Yes.
Because I have it here. And then because before the interview, I kept on looking at my notes and then do some research also on your classroom management, aside from the disruptive student. And then what else? I forget already that too. But it was very, just very practical in the classroom. So if these are the things that we are actually doing inside the classroom. And then the last time they asked me, do you have any other questions? So I asked them, sir, were you able to see my resume?
Yeah.
And then what do you think? What part of my resume would give me a good point to be hired? And then they said, oh, I'm sorry. I don't have any access yet on the resume. This is just a screening interview, but the way you answered, I think you will have good points. And it's like, I was a little bit pressured of it was a tough question it was a tough question. And then he said, don't worry, we will forward this one in case you pass the interview for the screening interview. We will pass this to the schools who has vacant positions. And by now they said we don't have yet biology. And so do you still have any other questions? And for now, sir, no, because I had already researched your school. I already studied your schools, your district. So I know already what to do. I know the responsibilities, and I'm just very excited to know your district. Just in case you will give me the chance.
Those are good answers.
Yes, if in case you will just give me the chance to be part of your teaching force. That was my answer.
Yeah. Hi. So those are really good answers. You may not want to ask about the resume part. You may ask things like, how about professional development? What kind of professional development or PD do you provide for teachers? Those are good questions like that, because the resume question, that's going to be a given. A lot of times they already have that. So you may want to ask about professional development. What kind of professional development do your district or school offer? Those are things that don't ever ask about pay, because if you did your research, the pay is already on their website. Okay. Yeah. Don't ask
because
about pay.
I had already.
Yeah, don't ask about things that are in the website. That's why you have to study the website, right? So good job. Sounds like you should. It sounds promising for me. So hopefully you'll get something. Okay.
Because I was already able to read the assistance that they are giving to their teachers. That's why I didn't ask it anymore, because this is the kind of me that whenever I know already these things, I don't need to ask them anymore.
Right.
Just like that.
Right. And it tells me as administrator, it tells me that you did your research, that you studied. And that's a good sign. You're a hardworking person. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Mom. It's just that it will help. But you know what, Mom?
Yeah.
I think it's better to be working with you.
Thank you.
I'm
make sure,
excited.
Yeah, you email me if the result, okay? We may need to had a mock interview before your next one, so I could listen to your answers and give you some tips. Okay, I have done that. I've done that to a lot of the people that are here. If you are really nervous about the interview, you text me or you message me online, and then I say, hey, are you available to do a mock interview?
Actually, Mom, there is another interview coming this Saturday. That's April 1. That's in Cebu. I'm flying to Cebu in April 1. That is from All Seasons Manpower Services, International Manpower Services, and they are offering H-1B visa for free, including the plane. Yes,
nice.
So
well, you be careful about those though. Make sure that you research them, make sure they're not fake, because there had been some people being sent and then you go there and you're not being a teacher, you're going to be something else. So you be careful. Okay.
It's a POAA and there are already a lot of teachers who are in the US.
It should be good. Just be careful about things that are fake, because that's scary to me.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank you so much.
Is there anybody here, because we're about to end, anybody here that would like to introduce themselves, because I have not met you before? I see a lot of familiar names, but there are also some new names. If you are still shy to do it, you can do it next time. But if you want us to know you today, let us know. It's just a 2 or 3 minute introduction about yourself. It's a good practice for you for your interview, I think. So how about you, Glenifer, Janida, Virai? Any of you wanna, I would always want a volunteer, not a voluntold. Okay, who is this? Zenaida. How do you say your last name? Is that Virai or Viray?
Yeah, it's Virai, ma'am.
Virai. Okay.
Sorry.
Virai. There we
Yeah.
go. Okay, so tell us about you.
Yeah, I would like to introduce myself first. My name is Zenaida Viray. So I'm from Philippines, Tarlac City. So right now I'm in Singapore. Are you still there? So I have been a preschool teacher in Singapore for almost 9 years.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I have been also an elementary teacher in our country under DepEd, Department of Education. I have my bachelor degree, Bachelor of Elementary Education, and also I took certificate in early childhood here in Singapore and a diploma in Montessori.
Okay, well, very good. Those are really good things. If I'm hiring a preschool teacher, those are really great things to mention. Okay, the Montessori one especially. Yeah.
Yes.
You might want to also include, why do you want to come to the US? Why do you want to work here?
Yeah, I want to work in the USA to, of course, explore and enhance my skills and knowledge. I want to share my experience, my knowledge with the children in your center, something like that.
Okay, yeah, you can do that. And also you might want to say, with my experience in Singapore, with my 9 years experience in Singapore, I feel like this is getting me ready to teach in the US, because I'm able to already teach different types of students and all that, or learners. And yes, you can do that. You connect what you know to where you're going. Okay. I think you can, yeah, with your experience in Singapore, that should be helpful. So go to www.schoolspring.com and you can filter the grades. You know, you can filter it to kindergarten or preschool or whatever. And in that way, all of those are the only ones appearing. You can also filter the state, if what state you want to go.
I have a question, ma'am, because in the morning, I had an interview with the owner of Primrose.
Yes.
Like that.
Yeah.
So, and then she told me if I'm authorized to work in the USA, and then I told her like I need sponsorship. I think I'm wrong in saying or what. And then she said, we're not doing that here.
It
Something
scares people. Yeah, it scares people.
Yeah,
They never say
and
that.
then she never. That is the first question, and she never continued because according to her, she never do the sponsorship, blah blah blah.
Right,
And
because
then I
they're
say,
afraid of being a sponsor for H-1B. That means it's going to cost them thousands of dollars. That's why. So that's why your first step should be going to the designated visa sponsors. That list that we put, you can even Google it, designated visas, US visa sponsor. And then that list there, you need to pick one and then try to be hooked up with them. You know, some of them would have a placement fee, some of them don't, free. And then once you get that question, once you hook up with a company, you know, one of those, then if you ask that question, you say, yes, I have a visa sponsor for a J1 visa. So that way, because if you say, no, I need your sponsorship, that's going to be like turned off. You will be gone. They would X you off.
Yes, that's
Okay?
true.
So
And that is my first time.
Yeah.
That's my first time interview, and I don't know what to say. I just tell what's the reality, you know, that I really need the sponsorship.
Yeah, but to them, it's like you're asking for a J1 visa, and that is, I mean, H1 visa, which is a really, really expensive thing to do. Not very many schools would do it. I only know of one so far. So two now with Layla. But yeah, not very many would do that. So make sure you hook up with one of those visa sponsors first. Get a contract or something with them, you know, sign up with them, because they're going to want a job offer. Once you get a job offer, then you tell the visa sponsor, then you go from there. They'll do everything else. Okay.
All right.
So your job is to do well on the interview. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank
and then
you,
visit the website School Spring. All right. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you
Anybody
so
else?
much.
Helen or Joy? Debalyn, your sister's here, by the way. Debalyn, I want you to come on because your sister's here. Come on, come here. Debalyn, look who's here with me. Where's Debalyn? Debalyn just left or she disappeared? Debalyn, your sister Daisy is here.
Hello, sister.
Hi.
Hi, Doc. Hi, Doc.
Do you
Good
see her?
morning.
Come on, come down, come down. Can you
Hi,
see her?
sis. Good
Yeah,
morning.
there she
Good
is.
morning,
You go down.
sis.
Asa ko? Let me see. Let me see what we see.
Ay, nag-visit sa'yo kaya ako ni-visit.
Oh, there it is. There she is. Eh? See?
So you want mo there.
She's
Hi,
over here visiting
sis. How are
me.
you? How are you, Doc? I'm asking her for help.
Yeah, well, yeah, I was
Hey, she's
telling.
very nice.
I was telling her that
Yeah,
come over
yeah.
at 10 o'clock. We'll be done. Yeah, right. It's not done. Well, thank you. Your mom, yeah, Daisy, yeah, yeah. I'm just helping her with some paperwork, but yeah, and her, yeah, and your mom went with us to Texas.
Yeah. I saw it in your post, though.
Yeah.
I'm so
have
happy
you
to
learned
know
anything
that.
from our Zoom? Have you visited School Spring yet?
Not yet, po.
You need to do it because the soonest the better. Okay, in any of you, the soonest that you
Okay.
do it, the better for you for chances.
Okay, po, Doc. Okay, po,
Yeah.
Doc.
Send as many as you want. It doesn't cost you anything. Yeah.
Okay, po, Doc.
Yeah.
Okay, po, Doc.
And
Thank
if you
so
put
much
me
for that.
down, try to limit it to like 2 times. I do not want a million things coming to me. So for every person, put me down twice. That's it. Because
Okay,
times 200, that's a lot of people that I have to do the survey. Okay. All right. So who else? Who else is here? Lorian. I talked to you already. Let me see. Layla, Debelin. I talked to Debelin just now. Annalyn, Clamor. I talked to you, Mike. Okay, I think Diane Blen. I've not talked to you, have I? It's nice to see Ria here back.
Yes, ma'am. Hello.
Diane Blen, I've talked to you last time. Yeah, I remember the face now.
I think we have some email exchanges already, ma'am.
Yes. Your name
So
looks
we
so
talk
familiar
through
to me.
email.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
ma'am.
love your glasses.
Thank you.
What?
Thank you. Actually, I have a question, a hanging question
Yes, go
for
ahead.
you.
Go ahead.
I think I sent it last time. My question was like, since I am not currently employed like right now, so I really don't have a chance to be employed for school year 2023,
No,
2024.
because yeah, that's a requirement for the visa, for the J1 visa is you have to be
Mhm.
currently employed. Yeah, if you're
Yes.
not, then you won't qualify for the J1 visa at all because you have to
Yeah.
remember that is a teacher exchange program. How can you be a teacher exchange when you're not teaching? Yeah, so you're changing information. Yeah, so you have to be employed. Okay, that's a
Yeah.
good question, by the way. I'm glad you
Yeah.
asked that here too.
I
Yeah,
I
I
am
answered
all
you.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. I am just thankful that I attended the Zoom. I mean that I attend the Zoom right now.
Well,
So
good.
I could have an idea on what to expect if I
Yeah.
apply for the next school year.
Good, yeah.
So thank you for
We
yeah,
try
I
to
am so
cover that from
enlightened.
step 1 to the end. Yeah. Just I will be
Yeah.
sending a lot of the interview tips if you have not received
Mhm.
that. Usually when I send you the first letter, I try to have all those
Mhm.
links. Don't
Yes,
ignore
ma'am.
those links. Those are important links.
Yeah, I do receive them and I reviewed them. And
Good.
then I think John had applied last year and I also joined her. It's just that there are some family matters that I have to attend to. So I haven't pursued my application.
Yeah. But I think
So
attending the Zoom would help you kind of front load you. So when you get ready, then
yes,
you will
ma'am.
be ready mentally.
Right, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's very
yes,
smart of
ma'am.
you to do that. Yeah.
Yes.
And are you taking notes like others?
Yes, I
Notebook?
do, ma'am. I do.
Yeah, but it's a notebook.
Yeah.
All right.
So I am
Good
just
job.
thankful that I attend.
Oh, good. I'm
It's also
glad that you
like something
attended
that
too.
could refresh me since
Yeah.
I haven't done teaching for quite some time. So
Right, right.
I
But
think
your interview, do not ever say that, okay? That you have
yeah.
filled up this gap. Don't do that
Yeah.
because that would discourage them. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Yeah.
All right.
So
Nice
thank you
talking to
very much.
you. How about
Yes.
Renazel?
Thank you,
Renazel?
ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Renazel Doliente, you want to talk to us or next time? I know you're listening, but I didn't know if you all, I hate to put people on a spot, but I would love for you to be recorded on your introduction. So Joel, thank you for coming back, Joel. Do you have any question for me?
Actually, Doc, I am on the first stage of my preparing my requirements to submit. Actually, last time you said that you have I have to email my resume, my cover letter, and then the referral letter. That actually I already asked my school head last time to write a referral letter for me so that I can submit it by this week. But apparently, my school head doesn't want me. They don't want if it's because I have to finish everything first. I mean, yes, last week because we have this event last week.
Okay.
So maybe if I will be, if my according to my school head, if my task will be finished by this week, I'll just get back on you. I hope so. They can give it to me.
Right. That
And
sounds
I can
fine.
send it by through email. And actually, I already visited the school school spring, and having a hard time to complete all the information listed.
What information are you having a problem with?
I already created my account and there's a time that I have to put information, then submit it, then later I will have this error, something like that.
I don't know. I don't know because that's the first time I've heard of it. So I don't know what you did differently.
But I'm trying to fill up everything so that I can send my cover letter and my resume and everything that I.
Good. Go to Indeed also. Indeed.com is also a good one. Indeed, INDEED. Yeah, .com also has really good chances for people too. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Who else? Who else? Ably? Ably or Ably?
Hi, ma'am. It's
Yes.
Aweli.
Oh, is that all? Oh, Aweli?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, sorry. I
Aweli.
see a V. You can see why I need glasses, right? I cannot see that it's a W. All right, Aweli, where are you from?
I'm from Quezon City, Philippines.
Yeah. Are you ready for a video or no? Just audio?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you do you want to turn your camera on? If you cannot, that's fine. Next time you okay, there you are. Yeah, it's nice to see a face. Yeah. So tell me about yourself.
Okay. I'm Aweli Mansueto. I am a secondary English teacher here in the Philippines, and I have a bachelor's degree in secondary education, major in English. I also have a master's degree in education, major in special education. I've been passionately and enthusiastically teaching English subject to high school students for more than 5 years now. And when it comes to my teaching philosophy, I'm all about behaviorism because I'm all about giving prizes, tokens. I'm all about giving praise or recognition to my students because it gives them motivation. And if students are motivated, everything follows. Like they will comply with the requirements, they will respect you as a teacher, and you will see actual progress in their class performance. So yes, I'm really so nervous. Doctor, your microphone is muted.
My husband was washing dishes really loudly. So I was like, okay, go ahead. So why did you want to come to the US, Aweli?
Well, I'm really dying for the career development for professional progress because I know that with the experiences that I can have in handling a more diverse students, like I can hone and improve my teaching skills. I can get more knowledge, and I'm really excited to work with international teachers and interact and learn with a more diverse students.
Very good. Your English is so good. Are you teaching like ESL students online?
Yes, I used to teach English subject to, I used to teach ESL to Korean students before.
I can tell that you're very used to it. That's going to help you in your interview. Okay. So you might want to include that in your introduction. And instead of saying behaviorism, you might want to say you believe in positive reinforcement, because it's just like, I guess controlling the behavior compared to you are positively motivating them. That's what I would use, positive reinforcement, but it's up to you. And also you need to make sure that with my experiences in teaching students from, English to Korean students, I learned that I can handle diverse students, you know. So that means, yeah, it's a good transition for me to teach in the US. It's getting me ready for it, you know, something like that. So I think you'll do well. So thank you for attending in our Zoom. Do you who introduced you to our group?
Actually, I just saw your Facebook page.
From search. That's good. Yeah. Well, thank you for attending. I hope you learned something. I don't know if you were here from the beginning or not, but a lot
This
of
is my
times,
first time to attend the Zoom meeting. Actually, I was here yesterday, but I think there was no meeting. I was like waiting for 30 minutes. I was like,
sorry.
It said on the email that it's supposed to be Friday at 9 o'clock, but
it was
where are they?
Saturday. Oh, it was changed from Friday to Saturday a long time ago.
okay.
So I may have sent you the wrong email or something. I don't know. Sorry about that. All right. It was nice to meet you.
Nice to
and
meet you too.
Joy,
Thank you
Joy
so much.
Fuentes. Sounds like a star's name. Joy Fuentes, you want to talk to us? Helen, Emily, any of you guys? Because we're going to be saying goodbye because it's 2.5 hours now. I have company here. Yeah, if you're not ready, it's okay. I mean, my favorite 2 words are or not. You know, you have a choice. So or not is always good. But anyway, so if you're not ready, it's okay. I understand. Just be ready next time to have a 2 to 3 minute speech to tell you about yourself and your education, what you're teaching, and then why do you want to come to the US, and even like why did you get into education? And I think that's interesting to know. Like some people are doing it for the parents, some people are doing it because it's always been their passion. Mine, I'm doing it because I switched from law to education, but education has always been my first love, you know, but it just did not pay well in the Philippines, but law did, right? But I went back to my first love when I came to the US. So that's what happened to me. So everybody's situation will be different. But anyway, after saying all that, I want to thank everyone for your time. I know our time is very valuable with our families. And so for you to spend that long time with me and learning from each other, I think that's really cool. So thank you so much, and hope to see you in 2 weeks. We don't do every now, we do every other. So the next one will be in like close to middle of April. So I will tell you, but just skip a Saturday, and the next Saturday will be it. Okay, this is a spring break. I didn't know if we were going to do it, but then I had so many requests, you know, asking me to do it. So I decided to do it. But there's a lot of us today. So thank you. Any last minute thing you want to say before we say goodbye? Nothing? I'm going to do some screenshot here of some of you. Anyway, I hope I have permission to post anything here, like your picture, for example, in our Facebook group, because that's where I put everything. So that, and if you're not a member of that, make sure you do, because I put a lot of information in there. And if you look back at our old posts that I did, those are things that are teaching things that you need to know. I put things about the American culture versus the Philippine culture. I put a lot of curriculum things there, so you may want to review those. Okay. All right. Well, I see some yawning, so you're ready to go to bed. So I want to say bye-bye, guys. And thank you again so much. Thanks for all that you do to help.
Thank
Thank you so much, Dr. Merlina.
Thank you,
It's
Doc.
nice.
Thank you
Bye.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
This time.
Doc.
See
Thank
you
you,
all.
Sir Mike.
Okay.
Thank you, Doc.
Bye.
Ma'am
Bye.
Leslie.
By the way,
Thank you,
behind me, my
ma'am.
background is the Grand Canyon. So
Yeah.
someday, if you all get here, we'll have to go make a trip to Grand Canyon. Okay, Layla, you got that? Yeah,
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
one of the most beautiful places in the world.
Ayun
I've
na
been
po
there
ang
4 times.
susunod.
Doc,
I love it.
Lang mga co-teachers.
Bye, Mike. Oh, look like
Thank you,
Mike.
ma'am.
Hi,
Bye,
Jean.
ma'am.
Bye,
Bye,
Jessica.
everyone.
Bless you, Ma'am Leslie.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Bye.
Thank you. God bless you
Thank you po.
all.
God bless you all po.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone. Bye.